Martinez, she'll take it all the way, lay it up and in. Big alley.
The following is a production by the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Lubbock High, Monterey, Coronado, and Estacado. All of them are perennial playoff contenders, wreaking havoc to every name on their schedule.
Oh, what a ball! What a score!
Elite? Yeah. A tradition of winning? But when did that tradition start? Was it the state championships that laid the foundation? The district titles that come on an annual basis? Or none of that at all? Maybe it's something more. And tonight, we are going to find out because the Boys of Fall are back. Presented by Lubbock ISD TV.
And with that, we welcome you to the second Friday in September. It's week 3 of high school football, where the beat of the marching band is heard across the streets and the crisp air that comes in the morning reminds me of football. We're set for the 9th rendition and the final one between the Coronado Mustangs and the Rojo Wichita Falls Rider. Devin Ward here alongside Carson Ward. The Ward duo is back, and they must have liked us from 2 weeks ago because we're ready to rock and roll on YouTube once again.
Oh, I am, and I'm really excited for this one.
Absolutely. It's two teams on very different sides of the spectrum in week 3 of the season. You got a 2-0 team versus an 0-2 team. Coronado's hungry and ready to get after it behind their quarterback, Isaiah Vasquez. He needs to have a big game tonight.
He really does, and there's been a lot of tradition of great quarterbacks at Coronado, and last year was Jet Carroll. Made a big statement with Coronado last year. We're really going to see if Isaiah wants, or if he's going to do it this year. Obviously, he expects that from himself. We expect it from him as well.
Well, and before Jet Carroll, you had Sawyer Robertson, Quay Gray, guys that went on and play at the next level. Of course, Willie Parker on the defensive end. He's the outside linebacker for the Mustangs. And the whole team on the defensive side of the ball needs to have a big night tonight, but we're focusing on Parker because he's one of the leaders and he's one of the guys that can get after it on that side of the ball.
Well, and like you said, he's the engine that makes the team go on the defensive end. He is a leader, a vocal guy, and the man in the middle of the defense. There were some big-time playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, last year for Coronado. John Curry, Ted Gilmore, and Cam Manahan, just to name a few. But how does a team replace guys like that? Reps.
Reps, yeah. And Willie Parker's one of the guys that's had a lot of reps and a lot of experience on this team. On the other side of the ball, Wichita Falls Riders 2-0. They're playing with a sense of urgency this year. It's their last year to be a school, and they want to go out with a bang because they're a tradition-rich program, and they have some talent on their team. And a guy that we want to highlight on the defensive side is Jalen Gibbs. He rocks number 8, and he's the name to know because he's 6'1". He's a senior, and he's the Dave Campbell's preseason district MVP. Of course, he's a 3-year starter on varsity, and the guy has speed, size, and quickness, and that's a recipe for success on the football field.
And it's going to be scary to watch him play. He's just going to be all over the field at once, and we already know it.
He stands out, that's for sure. A guy that will not be playing tonight, and a name that you need to know that's not playing, is Tyron Morgan. He's a guy that could do it all. He was a guy that would play offense. I think he had the most touches last week at running back. He's a guy that would be on the defensive side of the ball. I want to say he had an interception this season. And, of course, he was one of their special teams guys. And so that's a guy that the Wichita Falls Raiders would be leaning on, but is not going to be here tonight. And so, or he is here tonight, but won't be playing tonight. And so that's a big miss for them.
Well, and you just wonder how they're going to compensate for that because that's a big loss.
Absolutely.
But it's how teams manage around their difficulties that makes them a good team. And I think Ryder can do it.
Absolutely. Are you ready for it? Because it's time for some high school football. We'll be back right after this short commercial break. It's the Raiders and the Mustangs. Who do you got? We're going to find out. High school football presented by Lubbock ISD TV. Plains Capital Park. It is a warm Friday here in September, but man, it feels good to be back here in the booth getting ready for this exciting game. Coronado hosting Wichita Falls Rider. I want to check out this awesome replay that we got as the Mustangs ran through the tunnel moments ago as they ran out onto the field. Our cameraman got in there, Carson, and was a part of the run out. That's pretty cool there.
And you love seeing that, honestly.
Yeah, I'd love to be part of that running out of the helmet again, right?
Right? I bet Xavier really liked that.
Yeah. Shout out to our awesome camera crew. Of course, shout out to everybody tuning in tonight on Lubbock ISD's YouTube channel. This is our second broadcast for the football season on the YouTube channel, Carson, and we love being on this platform because, one, it's a free platform that people can tune in and check out their teams, and also it kind of gives us some like instant feedback on how many people are watching, and sometimes there's a comment section that makes it even more fun.
Well, and when you're a spectator, especially from an out-of-city school, that's what you want. You don't want to have to pay to watch your kids play.
Here's the kickoff, and that's going to go through the end zone. Great kick there, and the Mustangs will get the start.
Guess you could say it was a line drive kick, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here comes the Coronado Mustangs with starting quarterback Isaiah Vasquez. Vasquez, of course, a junior, and game one against Friendship, he had some big moments, was kind of off a bit against Midland, looking to bounce back tonight, and Coach says he's a poised young man that the team is fully invested in and believes in.
Well, and Isaiah has been, he knows what he's capable of. He showed that in the first game against Friendship, but he's, like you said, he's looking for something to bounce back with.
Absolutely. That first pass was caught by Jacob Perez, the 6-foot junior. First completion there for Coronado. Of course, the history between these two schools, Carson, only 209 miles is all that separates these two programs. They've played a total of 8 times on the gridiron since 1998. The Mustangs own the series between the two teams, 5 games to 3. But sadly, this will be the last time these two programs meet up unless they meet in the postseason. There is a first down after Demarion Finch's carry there.
And that's really a great play right there. We know Coronado is not a very run-heavy offense, but with them establishing what kind of tempo they want early on, I think it's going to make the defense feel a little uncomfortable.
In the shotgun, Vasquez looking the whole way to that side, and it's going to be caught by Cyril Garrett, losing his feet a little bit, but a gain of 6 yards on the play. That's a solid first play on first down. It is, and
yeah, I bet Cyril is a little upset that he lost his footing right there, but you know what? 6 yards on the first play of the drive, or not first play on the drive, but first play on first down, it is just beautiful.
You'll take it every time.
You keep getting 6 yards, you're going to keep getting first downs.
Bad snap here, though. Vasquez is going to have to, he's going to get eaten alive, and it's going to be a loss of about 5 on that play, maybe 6. So everything they gained on that first down pass was swallowed up by a bad snap right there, Carson.
It was, and
it was maybe a good snap just out of the hands of Vasquez.
It's just unfortunate that that's how that play ended. You know, it could have been so much better.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 11 from the 40-yard line. Got 4 wide receivers out wide. It's going to be a play action. Caught by Coronado, still on his feet, spinning. It's going to take 3 Rider Raiders to take him down. I believe that was Perez once again on the catch.
Well, and I don't know if you saw that, but they were trying to do a wide receiver screen. They were trying to get the blockers out in front right there, so to speak. And I don't know why you would do that on a 3rd down and long, but sometimes it actually really works.
Well, and you get your playmakers out in space. That's what they're trying to do here. It looks like Vasquez is going to punt it, and he will. End-over-end kick. Caught at about the 19 and taken off. Hitting that outside corner, has a lot of green grass in front of him is Kenji Johnson. Johnson down that far sideline, and he's going to be taken out of bounds at about the 40 or the 34-yard line. That's impressive. I scratched that 39-yard line. I saw the coach run in, and I thought that was the official.
Yeah, that was just a great punt return right there. You love seeing the aggressive running style that number 1 ran with right there.
Yeah, Johnson had a lot of great lead blockers in front of him as well. Great effort by the Mustangs to force him out of bounds. But here comes Wichita Falls Rider for the first time tonight. Joe Castles, the sophomore quarterback, out there leading the charge with his guys.
Yeah, and Ryder has come out hot starting this year. They have had 2 commanding wins, starting with a 41-13 win over Wichita Falls and following with a 38-14 win over Decatur. If this momentum trend continues, we could see a big leap from their previous 8-4 record last year. Look out.
Yeah, look out. Look out. Coach Bindle in his 10th year doing some great things with this Ryder program. And I want to apologize. That was Ryan Jones on the punt return, not Kenji Johnson. Johnson, of course, in the backfield for this Ryder offense. Let's see what they do here on 2nd and 9. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson. Linebacker coming up and popping him at the line of scrimmage. He'll continue to gain about another 2 or 3 yards after that initial contact, and Carson, a flag just came flying in at about the 30-yard line. Came after the play, and we're going to be hearing from our officiating crew for the first time tonight. Of course, our head official tonight is Oscar Shorten.
After the play, sportsmanlike conduct. Number 25 on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down, Ryder.
So that penalty, he said number 25 on the defense, Willie Crane, will be called for that. And so it's going to move the chains. They're now officially on the 20-yard line, so Ryder's in the red zone.
And they're moving fast.
It's going to be a handoff to Johnson, trying to go off that left tackle, and he'll power forward for a solid gain on first down.
When you're still going to take that, that's a good 4 or 5 yard gain. You keep doing that, you're going to be consistent all night.
Yeah, you'll take 4 or 5 yards every play. They continue between every play. Speaking of every play, they look to the sidelines, Carson, to see what the coaching staff over there is calling.
And that's just good communication between the sideline and the players.
That's what every team does, right? Every one of them always looks over. It's going to be a pass. Feeling some pressure and going to get hit. It's going to be a loss about maybe half a yard on the play. Joe Castro, excuse me, not Joe Castro. Had the wrong 12. It's Joe Castles. Feeling some of that defensive line pressure by Coronado there, Carson, and finishing the play.
Well, and that was just the right read right there. He was going to take off and try to get some yards with his legs, but Coronado was ready for it. They had a spy there that was just ready for him to shoot that gap.
And tip your cap to the secondary for Coronado, right? They're the reason why they had nothing open as he went through his reads. Castle's going to the line and making a change of the play. It's a big 3rd and 5 here for Coronado. Castles with a snap. It's going to be a handoff. Bounce into that outside corner. If he would have broken away there, Carson, it could have been 6 for Wichita Falls Riders. Elijah Jackson gets tackled down.
And now we have a really late flag coming in.
Another late flag. Did you see what it was, Carson, as I was looking down at my stats?
I did not. I actually just saw the referee just launch the flag 10 yards into the air.
They're out there communicating right now. We're going to hear what this penalty was momentarily.
During the play, personal foul, number 7, defense. Personal foul, number 13, offense. Penalties offset. 4th down.
Okay, so it's going to be 4th down and about 5 after those penalties offset. So that changes things, right? Ryder's going to have to think about what they want to do in this situation here. I do want to talk about a strength for the Ryder offense, though. It's their offensive line. Cape Johnson and Norman Mendieta are the most experienced 2 on the offensive line for Ryder, but they have some big dudes that can just flat out play up there. So look for them to lean on that offensive line a lot today, and I feel like they've done that on this first drive, right, Carson, with them establishing the running game like they have.
Well, and they most certainly have, and like you just said, their running game has been tremendous this entire year. So far, they're averaging 237 yards on the ground per game. That's a big number whenever you have 376.5 total yards of offense on average.
Right. No, that's a solid percentage of the pie there of the yardage, right?
Right?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm having flashbacks of last year's Thanksgiving and how much pie I had.
Man, I'm not really much of a pie guy myself.
Oh man, you're missing out. All right, 4th down and 2. It looks like they're going with a wildcat formation. A direct snap to the running back. Stuffed at the line. It's going to come down to the spot, and it looks like he might have got it.
It looks like he did.
That is a first down for Wichita Falls Rider. Elijah Jackson getting just enough with that one play. They move the chains. It's 1st and goal.
And now you wonder if they're going to keep running the ball, keep trying to eat away at this Coronado defense, or if they're just going to try going through the air and try and get in a couple plays.
Let's see, you got Castles in the shotgun. Right behind him is Kenji Johnson. Got a tight end to his right. Castles is changing things at the line. Castles is a 6'6" sophomore. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson off the tackle, and he'll gain about a yard or two on the play. Great pursuit and taking great angles by that Coronado defense.
Yes, and you really have to right now, this close, with your backs to the end zone, you have to stiffen up and you have to have some really good pursuit angles, some really good tackling to make sure they don't get a touchdown.
Johnson running off the field, but he's a 5'10", 175-pound senior, and I'll tell you what, junior rather, and he's had 30 carries in the first 2 games, averaging 5.7 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. He's a beast. It's going to be Castles rolling out to his right, has a player, touchdown, Wichita Falls Rider. He had the H-back there in the flats, Carson, and off of the spin move, he was wide open.
Like you just said, wide open. Great play design right there by Wichita Falls Rider.
Carson Ayers with the touchdown reception, and the Raiders have the first points of this game. That was an impressive play right there. And that's all about the design, right? That the play was designed for deception and to make the defense go on that opposite side and make the receiver wide open. Extra point is up and good. Wichita Falls, that was the first punch here on this Friday night here at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. They're leading 7-0. We're going to take a little pause in the action, and when we come back, we'll have kickoff. You're watching Lubbock ISD football on the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel.
Many Lubbock ISD TV students bringing you tonight's live stream.
If you appreciate our coverage, we hope you'll consider one of our sponsorship opportunities.
Your support gives us the opportunity to travel to state and national competitions,
where we represent our entire district in audio and video production contests.
Last season, our students received multiple awards in Skills USA and the Student Television Network.
If you'd like to support us, contact Kenneth Dixon with the information on your screen.
And thank you for watching.
All right, we're back. 7-0. Wichita Falls Riders 7, Coronado 0. We want to thank everybody for tuning in on the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel. If you wouldn't mind, like, share, subscribe, do all the things, right? Because we want to be able to share the word that we're broadcasting here tonight. You know, Carson, we live in the world right now where you see all of those fake links on all of your Twitter or your Facebook or your Instagram of saying, watch the game here. This is a real link, right, that people and fans can come and watch this game. And so make sure to share it, right?
Make sure to share it. Make sure to tell everybody you know about it, because regardless of what school you go to, where you're from, if you're playing a Lubbock ISD team, we're going to have it here.
On YouTube. Of course, last night's game was on Fox 34 News Now. Man, and that was an epic battle between Friendship and Monterey. 4 overtime thriller. I didn't get home until midnight, Carson. And, man, we're rocking and rolling tonight.
I just wish I would have been working that game. I had so much to do last night. I couldn't even get an update besides what my mom was telling me.
It was a crazy game. So back comes this Coronado offense. After stalling out on that first drive, let's see if they made some adjustments. It's going to be a handoff. Dancing around in the backfield, popping it outside, needs a block, gets one. But the white hats of Wichita Falls Rider flew to the football, and a gain of nothing there for Demarion Finch.
When it looked like whenever he made that initial cut to go back to the left side of the field, it looked like that hole was open, but then he just decided to bounce it outside, try to get the outside corner. Just too many white hats, like you just said, right there to swarm it.
That was a great pursuit angle by Wichita Falls Rider. They play a cool style of defense that I like. Sometimes it's a 3-3 front. Sometimes it's a 4-3 front. They have kind of like what Tech has, Carson, when you're watching them. A player that's going to play like the Raider position, right? It could be a hybrid linebacker or defensive end. And we highlighted him in the pregame tonight, Jalen Gibbs. He's that guy for them that can play multiple positions. He is speed, he is athletic, and he can be a game changer for them.
Well, and it really throws an offense off whenever the defense is showing different personnel. When defenses show different personnel, it really just makes your quarterback's mind think, and it's almost wondering, are they going to blitz in a 3-3? Are they going to play pass coverage in a 4-3? It plays with your mind a lot.
Well, and they're getting pressure with 4 there, and Vasquez is going to get sacked on the play. It was a mixture between Kinsey Johnson and I believe Gibbs that got the sack.
And that was just great push. I'm going to say push. That was great push on the outside of that defensive line, because it wasn't even the interior that got to him. It was just kind of surrounding him like a circle.
Yeah, and you got to tip your cap to those defensive linemen. They got a great jump off of the ball, and they were able to get instant pressure on Vasquez. Vasquez wasn't really even done with his 3-step drop, and they were already there.
And that's what you want whenever you're a defensive lineman. You want to make that quarterback hurry his motion to make him the most uncomfortable that you can.
So here is the punt. It'll be down at about the 46-yard line. So back comes Wichita Falls Rider and their offense, fresh off of a touchdown drive where they took some significant time off of the clock. They established the running game and their physicality up front, and you got to think that's what we're about to see here again.
I think if it's not broke, you don't fix it. I think it's exactly going to be what you just said. I think it's going to be a lot of runs, a couple passes when they need to, but majority of the plays I feel like is going to be a run.
Carson he just stole the words out of my mouth. They are a run-first team that loves to pass the ball over the top when they have the chance, but with the physicality that their offensive line has, they will try to set the tone against any team. Some pre-snap movement here. Going to the air. Castle's throwing it. Caught over the middle. Breaking away from a tackle, and will be took down at about the 34-yard line. Great pitch and catch. Cohen Maroney with the catch.
And that could have been really bad because the way that the safety was crashing in on it, number 17 could have just got popped. But the shiftiness that he displayed really got him around that and got him another, what seemed like 8 yards.
So here's a new first down from the 34. The slap, the clap, and the snap. There it is. I had it backwards there. It's going to be a run, though, on first down and a gain of 6. He continues his trend, Kenji Johnson does, of averaging more than 5.7 yards per carry.
It's nice when you can get that kind of a number on your carries.
That if you have that kind of number all season long, you're going to go somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
That is college coaches will see that, especially at this level of football.
Well, and even in the pros, your goal is like 5, maybe 5.5 yards per carry.
Yeah,
maybe a little more, but I mean that's just 5 is such a good number to aim for, no matter what level you play at.
Great crowd here on hand tonight for the Mustangs hosting Rider. I saw in pregame, Carson, when we were walking, we saw that the Rider fans were putting pictures up, and we thought that was pretty cool.
I think it's just nice whenever you're playing an out-of-city game and you try to bring your home stadium with you. I've always appreciated that. I think it's different. Not every school does it, and I think if you can, why not?
Why not? 3rd and 4 here. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bouncing it outside. Getting a block in front of him from his wide receiver. Still on his feet. The wheels are churning, and he'll be tackled down at the 7-yard line. Elijah Jackson there refusing to be taken down.
And I think we just figured out how and why they're so good at running the ball. It's for the physicality right there that he just displayed.
Well, look at number 21 for Wichita Falls Rider. That is Roman Peel. He was peeling that block, or the defensive back there, not letting them have a chance to tackle. Of course, we do have an injury timeout out on the field. All of our injury timeouts are presented by UMC Children's Hospital. We're so grateful for them for sponsoring our timeouts, and I think we should take a timeout, Carson.
I think we should too.
Yeah, we're gonna let the training staff of Wichita Falls Rider tend to the Raider that's down, and we'll pause and take a little timeout. It's 7-0 right now. Raiders on top, and they're currently driving. We'll be back right after this. That was better. We're getting better.
Yeah.
Get our groove.
think it's just like pre-game nervousness.
It's number 7. Okay. All right, so that is Camden Self, the senior defensive back, getting a lot of help off the field. We sending him positive energy right now. Continuing on with the action, though, it's going to be a carry by Jackson to about the 2-yard line. It's going to be second down from the 2.
I just love the way that the blocks are setting up for the run game. That's how I know we keep saying the running back for their running game starts with the offensive line.
It starts with the big guys up front. They're the backbone of any team, right? You go as your line goes, and it's clear to us up here in the booth and probably everybody watching the broadcast tonight that the offensive line for Wichita Falls Rider is pretty elite. Love the bell there. It's a great shot. All right, it's going to be a timeout by the Coronado Mustangs, and we're going to hang out here during this timeout. Of course, this year, Coronado, if you look down on the field, Carson, you can kind of tell right away, they don't have a big roster. This year, the Mustangs roster isn't as big as it normally is in numbers that they normally have, and so that means they don't have the depth that they normally do, but that doesn't mean that they won't be the same physical team and play as hard and have all the fun that they love to do. No.
Sorry, I was
just
off.
Yeah, you were spaced out there, man. So there's the update on that. Of course, for Coronado and Coach Mann, as you see him down there, the goal is pretty simple for the Mustangs. They want to hang banners. There's been a recent tradition of the Mustangs hanging banners, and that didn't happen last year, right? And that drove the Mustangs through the entire offseason. They're hungry and eager to be able to continue the tradition of hanging banners, right? You want to be able to make the playoffs. You want to continue the success, right? At the end of the day, once you lay the foundation of success, you want to stack the success, right? And when you're not able to continue stacking the success, it eats at you a little bit.
It really kind of does, because you really want to keep building on the momentum that you've gained from previous games, previous practices, and whatnot. And it feels like a setback whenever it doesn't all go your way. But then it's almost like a reality check. Like, hey, not everything's going to go our way, so we're going to work even harder to make it happen.
All right, here we go. First and goal here. It's a handoff. Coronado making contact behind the line of scrimmage, but Jackson scores. Rider extends their lead. It's now 13-6.
And just another great hard run right there by Wichita Falls Rider.
Yeah, and the Mustang defense was there. They were able to make contact with him behind the line of scrimmage, Carson, but it was Jackson's determination and keeping the wheels moving on his legs, right? And he wasn't going to be taken down. So here's their extra point opportunity. 1:26 to go here in the first quarter. The Rider Raiders are now 2 for 2 on offensive drives. The extra point is up and good. It's now 14-0. Wichita Falls Rider on top of the Coronado Mustangs. You got to think Coach Bindle is really excited and happy with how his team has started this game tonight.
And I completely agree. They've come out hot. And like I said earlier, they have started this year off hot, and they just want to keep the good times rolling. Why would you not?
I'm looking at your game notes here. It says the Rider Raiders are on a high right now.
Oh, they are. Let me see.
It's the bottom one right there.
Bottom one, yeah, there we go. Yeah, they're on a high right now, but why do you think that is? Let me ask you that.
Do you want me to cheat and read the notes, or just kind of give it a guess?
Nope.
Well, because they're 2-0, right? They have the mindset of right now, this is it, right? This is our last year as a school before they move off to the new campuses. And so why not, right? Push all the chips in. Let's go for it. That's why they're hot.
That's why they're hot. I like that. That's not the answer I had, but I do like that.
Yeah?
I do like that. It's because the Raiders love to run the ball. We've gone over it countless times already, even though it's not even the end of the first quarter yet. But this year thus far, they're averaging, like I said, 237 yards on the ground. And when that is the major contribution to your 376 yards on the or total yards, it's unsurmountable. Like, that is just.
They found their bread and butter.
They found their bread and butter, and it's just, wow. You know,
I think Monterey did that, over the last couple games as well, right? The Plainsmen have found their bread and butter with running the football and playing defense and being physical. I'm impressed with what Coach Thrash is doing in year 2.
I am too, and I know I said it whenever I commentated the
first game.
The first Monterey game 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
They were not defined by their record last year.
No.
0-10 is by no means a good record, but they were not the team that they are on paper.
No, and like they were literally like 4 or 5 plays away from winning 4 or 5 different games. They lost, I know, like single-digit losses and often single possession losses. So I'm excited to see what they continue to do this season. Of course, they were upset last night that they lost to Friendship. But a lot of times, right, when you get knocked down, it's how you get back up. And I'm excited to see them respond. Vasquez here, the ball getting batted down at the line of scrimmage. Great job by Wichita Falls Rider of getting their hands up and not allowing that pass to go anywhere.
I just love the way that Wichita Falls Rider has been playing defense today. They've switched up their personnel. They've switched up their looks. They've been blanketing every single play. And at that time, you just get your hands up and bat the ball down.
Vasquez looking that way the whole way. It's going to be completed. 2nd and 10, went to 3rd and manageable after that completion right there. I like that pickup.
Well, and now you really feel like you have to get this first down, and that's a great way to kind of lay it up, so to speak, and hopefully they get a first down here and maybe build some momentum of their own.
Here's the Mustangs here on 3rd down. Of course, this is a junior-heavy team for Coronado. When Coach Mann arrived at his home of Coronado, he had tons of leaders on the squad with tons of experience, but this year's a little different for the Mustangs. 16 to 17 seniors on the squad, which means they're going to be relying on a lot of younger talent, and there's some talent right there. Did they get the first down, Carson? I didn't see.
It's right at the stick. It'll depend on the spot.
Yeah, it's going to be about a yard and a half short. But they're going to be relying on younger talent, and so when you see the team roll up with Coronado across the chest, expect a good team and good things to come out of this program. Coach Mann and the team, they're going to do what they've always done, right? And that's try to go out there and be successful on everything they do, in the classroom and on the field.
Well, and when you're specifically heavy in one class, in this case the junior class, it builds team chemistry without even having to build chemistry.
It's a pass by Vasquez. They did that setup moments ago where he backed up an extra 2 yards and he punted it. That time it was a fake, and that pass was completed for a first down for the Mustangs.
And now we might be able to see, I don't want to speak too soon, but we might be able to see some momentum start to shift depending on how the rest of this drive goes.
At the end, right, on offense, it's about, okay, let's move the chains. Let's move the chains. The Mustangs found a way to move it there, and they have another 4 downs to see if they can do it again. Now that completion was to Dom Parrish. He's listed as an athlete, and he was swallowed up right there.
I think everybody on the field right now could be described as an athlete.
That's my favorite position in football. It's like, okay, if this guy's an athlete, he can do it all.
It's just like a utility player. I love it.
So that's going to be the end of the first quarter. It's Raiders 14, Mustangs 0. But the Mustangs have the ball, and they're close to Raider territory. We'll see if they can get across and maybe get some points on the board. We'll be back with more right after this. You're watching Lubbock ISD football, presented by Lubbock ISD TV.
It's premiere week.
It's premiere week.
It's premiere week on Lubbock ISD TV.
I'm really excited. Join us starting next week
For all new student-produced shows.
We are going live.
All new student-produced shows like
That's what I call TV.
The Connection.
We're going to work on our first LAISD Today show.
And don't you forget, you can watch anytime at LubbockISDTV.com.
at LubbockISDTV.com.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
What is Highlights? It's your weekly look at the innovative teaching, unique opportunities, fantastic community partners, and so much more happening in Lubbock ISD. Join us at 8, noon, 6, or 10 o'clock on Lubbock ISD TV or watch on demand anytime at LubbockISDTV.com. Highlights, featuring the great opportunities only in Lubbock ISD.
here at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park. I'm looking down there, Carson. There was a cup that says Polar Pop on it. But I think with it being 100+ degrees, I bet that person in the soda cup is burning up.
I think he might be, or she. I don't know.
Right. I bet they want a Polar Pop.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about mascots is that they have to hide their identity, so you never know if it's a boy or a girl, and they don't say anything, so you can't tell.
Yeah, you always try to communicate with them too, and then they're pointing at you.
They're pointing at you. They're waving at you.
They're doing something. 3rd and 7 now from the 47. It's the 3rd drive of the game for the Mustangs, and they in and out of the hands, and it's going to be 4th down. If he was able to complete that pass there, Carson, it would have been the first time the Mustangs had found a way into the Raider territory, and maybe they could start stacking some success on the offensive end.
Well, and I thought that was actually a really good read by Isaiah Vasquez. It's just a shame that the receiver couldn't quite corral the ball enough to hold on to it to get the first down.
So we're getting some stats from the first quarter. Total offensive plays is exactly even. Both teams had 13 total plays in the first quarter, but what stands out is the yardage. Wichita Falls Rider has 76 yards compared to 32. And that's going to be a punt off of the side of the foot of the Mustang, and it will roll out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So that's the 3rd drive for the Mustangs. And they weren't really able to get anything going, while Rider is 2 for 2, and here they come once again for opportunity number 3.
And you know they're just going to be seeking out that end zone like like they're a baby and they're seeking out candy, you know? And
a toddler seeking out candy. I know what you're talking about with that. My son, that boy loves candy.
What's his favorite candy?
Anything he can get his hands on.
Right?
Yeah, he just wants all of it.
So now, Mr. Ward, I got a question for you. If you are the Coronado defense, what do you try to do to start getting momentum on your side? That way you can hopefully set up your offense.
I think a big play needs to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think where they can get a little juice on the side, a little confidence back, right? And so, is it a turnover? Is it a fumble or an interception? I don't know, but they need some confidence on that side of the ball, because right now Rider's been able to do what they've been wanting to do, which is establish the run and move their way down the field. It's going to be a pass to Jackson that time, a screen pass, and he will power his way to about an 8-yard gain.
I think if you start to how you start to build momentum if you're the Coronado defense right now is I think you just start with simply an incompletion or maybe a stuff at the line if you can, if it's a run play. Heck, if it's a pass play, you maybe get a sack. And I think if you just get one of those things, it starts slowly building up your confidence, and it will start slowly building up your momentum on the defensive side of the ball.
Of course, there's a lot of big-time playmakers on this Coronado defense, right? And one that really stands out is Alan Gant. This guy is the guy that all coaches want. 6 foot, 200-pound strong safety. He's blazing fast, and it's going to be a 3rd down here after a short gain by Kenji Johnson. But going back to Gant, blazing fast, has an offer from Texas Tech, and will play a pivotal role in the secondary for Coronado. Look for his name to be called a lot this season, right? Making some big impact plays. He's one of the big playmakers on that defensive end.
Well, and last year when you lose John Curry, you're going to have some people on your defense step up. And Coronado...
and you lost a lot of people last year. John Curry, Cam Manahan, many defensive stars for him.
Many, you're right. But DJ Man is really, Coach DJ Man is just really seeking who's going to be the next big playmaker for us on the defensive side of the ball. And they're really hoping that Gant is the guy.
As well as Willie Parker. Willie Parker's the vocal guy. And you know what? That might be a break right there for for Coronado, because it was 3rd down and 2. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 7. And as the farther back they get backed up into their own territory, if they're able to make a stop here on 3rd down, it makes you think that Wichita Falls might have to punt.
Well, and now if I'm Coronado, I'm trying my hardest to get my 4 or 5 defensive linemen into the pocket of the quarterback, and then have everybody else blanket the field as best they can, try to make the quarterback hurry, and maybe even make him have a bad read.
So here we go, 3rd down and 7 from the 38. It's going to be a pass. Feeling some pressure and having to roll out Castles. He throws it to the sideline, falls incomplete. It's going to be 4th down. You saw that play develop there where the running back, it was like a design screen to him, but the defense by Coronado saw it and eliminated him being able to be the pass catching option, and Castle just had to get rid of it.
And now you start to wonder, is this going to start building the momentum on the offensive side? Obviously, Coronado wants it to, but I also think it happens with how this punt return goes right here.
So here's a punt for Wichita Falls Rider on their third drive.
And that's a boot.
That's a pretty nice punt. And Coronado drops it, picked up at about the 15-yard line, and being slung down at the 22 was Cyril Garrett. Great job by Garrett by not losing his feet there, because he was stumbling a little bit with the turf, but he was able to gather himself and gain about 7 yards.
And that's exactly how, that's not how he wanted it to go, but that's the best case scenario after he fumbled the ball right there.
Talking about the turf moments ago, right? I did some research on it, right? And so this new season, of course, there's new turf here at Lowry Field, and instead of the rubber pellets, they have, it's called wood infill. And so basically it's super small wood chips in their turf, and according to an article that I read after this play here gets pushed out of bounds, it's Cyril Garrett. According to the articles that I read, the unique properties of wood make the turf significantly cooler than the crumb rubber. It also is safer for the athletes if accidentally ingested. But the big question a lot of people have, including me, what about splinters or chips, right? Yeah. That can harm athletes when they slide or fall. However, these chips were specifically engineered using special equipment during a manufacturing process, which that's a first down, but a flag on the opposite end. To remove those big, large parts of wood that would become splinters. And so, and a successive conditioning process also buffers and smooths it. But this is safer, it's cooler, and a lot better for these student athletes.
I agree, and I think it's fascinating to me that you have to water it or it has to rain or something to pack it down.
Yeah, for it to settle a little bit. It looks like dirt spots randomly out there right now, and it's because old Mother Nature hasn't given us a good rain pour here in Lubbock in quite some time.
Yeah, if it's Lubbock, Texas. You got a very bipolar city besides hot weather. Lubbock loves hot weather.
And I think right now we're on trend for like the hottest year with the most 100-degree like days in a year.
I think we are too.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of head nods over here. Yeah, you feeling the heat down there? Yeah. All right, 2nd down and 8 from the 37. Coronado getting the first down moments ago. Still looking to get into Raider territory for the first time tonight. Vasquez has got a running back to either side of him.
And we see a lot of RPO-type plays happen right in this formation.
Yeah, Finch taking the handoff. Will get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe gain a yard. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. I like the pre-snap movement.
I do too.
Because it gets the eyes of the defensive players having to look at something else before the pre-snap. You know what I'm saying? They have to think about something else. And I love that. And it even gets me up here in the booth watching it.
Well, it's like whenever an offense runs a jet sweep and you have that wide receiver going and motioning to the other side, it's designed to throw off a cornerback and to make them shift, because then you can just sneak a handoff in and call it good.
I believe they just called a timeout on the field. All right, now we're back underway. It was a brief pause in action. The clock is rolling. It's been a fast-paced first quarter and a half. This is now 7:42. Vasquez feeling some pressure, stepping up and launching a beautiful ball slightly over the head of the receiver and will fall incomplete. Carson, that just goes to show right there how strong of an arm Vasquez has right there. And I loved his patience in the pocket, felt the pressure, stepped up, and still threw a nice pass even though it was slightly overthrown.
Well, and I wouldn't just blame it on, I wouldn't even blame it on the throw. There was some tugging and some physical activities happening on the far side of the field between the receiver and the cornerback, and that could have been what altered that incompletion.
So we do have a timeout on the field. It is a UMC Children's Hospital timeout. Thank you to UMC Children's Hospital for sponsoring our timeout. And thank you to UMC Children's Hospital for everything they do for all the kids here in town. It's a special place for both Carson and I for various reasons, and it's because they've taken care of us. So thank you to UMC Children's Hospital.
Yes, thank y'all.
As the Rider Raider is back on their feet, that is Carson Ayers once again. Ayers was down earlier I believe. See the Mustangs here on the field. I like these uniform combos that the Mustangs are rolling out tonight with the red pants, the gold top, and the gold jerseys, or the gold helmet.
I think it looks clean. I think it looks crisp.
That's what the young kids are saying nowadays, crisp.
It's like the old saying, cool, calm, and collected. It's pretty much the same thing, right? Right?
It's the new lingo. So it's going to be a punt for the Mustangs. And that one's going to soar out of bounds. I believe that was Vasquez that time, Carson, with the punt.
I've been really surprised how far he can get his punts. That shows you that he's more than a quarterback. He's an athlete. He's an athlete.
Yeah, we're going back to the athlete. I like that.
Yeah.
Carson, we're athletes up here.
I like to think that, yes.
Yes. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in tonight on the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel. Got 11 likes on the stream. Almost 300 people watching. That's big time, Carson.
It is big time, and we just want to say thank y'all again for tuning in, for watching our broadcast, and we'll keep doing it as long as y'all keep liking it.
Absolutely. Well, and we want to make sure we let everybody know that, one, Carson up here is a senior at Coronado. He is a student, and there's a big-time run. A lot of green grass in front of him. Staying in bounds.
Wow.
He's going to score. Kinsey Johnson from the 35-yard line takes it 65 yards to the house.
What a run.
That was impressive. I thought he had to have been pushed out of bounds. There was multiple Coronado Mustangs trailing him and taking great pursuit angles to get him, but he outran all of them and found the pay dirt.
It really kind of looked to me at first glance that he stepped out, but just great balance right there. That's what we call a tightrope.
Breaking a couple shoestring tackles along the way, thinking he was going to get pushed out of bounds there. That's the weight room paying off, right? You saw the push, but he was able to power through it. The extra point, up and good. Now 21-0, Wichita Falls extends their lead. The Rider Raiders looking pretty good tonight here in the Hub City, Carson.
They are, and they're not fazed one bit by the heat.
Not at all. Not at all. 6:57 to go here in the first half. Carson, football's back. NFL football's back. Interesting fact, and I know I'm taking this broadcast way off the tracks. Fantasy football, a ton of Americans play it. What percentage of Americans do you think play fantasy football, Carson?
I'm going to say, I want to say over 50, but I'm going to say slightly less. I'm going to say like 46%.
18%.
Wow, I'm way over.
That is way low. I for some reason, but then when you think about it, there's 350 plus million Americans.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? 10% of 350 is 35. And so, okay, 35 million does sound like a lot of people still. And plus, you still have the other 8% on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was way over. It's becoming very popular the past couple of years.
It is. And there's so many different apps and platforms that you could play on. And I took Mahomes. I thought he was going to be great. Only got me 18 points last night.
I don't even know how the point system works, so.
It is quite complex.
I have never been in a fantasy football league. You can put the pen to paper right there and say, hey, you need to sign into a league, but man, I haven't. I don't know the first thing about fantasy football.
Wow. So when you look at District 2 5A Division I right now, Abilene High sitting undefeated. Of course, Monterey is 2-1 now. Lubbock Cooper 1-1. Tascosa 1-1. Amarillo High 1-1, and of course Caprock and Coronado haven't found the win column just yet. Of course, all these teams playing tonight or yesterday. But Abilene High really stands out in the district, Carson. They're currently state ranked in Class 5A, and the Eagles look really good, but so do Monterey. And I'm excited to see all these teams continuing to battle and how they're going to progress until we hit district play.
Well, and it's how the year goes on for these teams. You just said, is Abilene High, right?
Yeah, Abilene High.
I want to make sure I was not mistaking your words right there, but Abilene High have been playing some great football to start out. Monterey, I have been really, really impressed. Not surprised, but impressed at how they've just been able to transition from last year to this year. I know we've already said it, but Monterey was not an 0-10 football team last year. They were playing with a lot of heart.
They played with a lot of heart last night, too. And you know what? Speaking of playing with heart, I'm going to tip my cap to Coach Thrash. Last night, he was fresh off the field. We sent our sideline reporter to go chat with him, and he was a class act. He spent the time with us, and Surreal Garrett breaks away. He's got a defender in front of him, trying to dance by him, and he's in Raider territory. That's a big-time play right there for Coronado.
That is a big-time play, and now this is the first time that Coronado has been inside of the Raiders' territory.
And that was, you see, Vasquez there connecting with his top target. Great blocks downfield by the lineman so that he could find that seam and make some damage. That's a backwards pass. Garrett's going to throw it. He's a lefty, and that's going to be caught.
Wow.
It's going to be inside the red zone. The Mustangs, some trickery there, finds Dom Parrish at the 15-yard line.
Well, and they must have found a mismatch that they liked, because I never would have seen that coming.
Coach Mann out there this season. Coach Mann is coaching the quarterbacks, right? He had Coach Birdwell the year before, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, but with Coach Birdwell accepting a head coaching job elsewhere, right? Coach Mann is having to shuffle around, do some different things, and he is leading the charge at quarterback, and maybe you're right. He might have saw something there.
And I think he's fine with that. I think if you're a head coach, you really want to focus your positional focus on your quarterback, because that's pretty much where all of your plays are surrounded by.
Yeah, and Isaac Vasquez there was being surrounded by multiple Wichita Falls Rider Raiders. Jesus Yanez was the one that swallowed him up right there to take him down.
Just a great bull rush right there.
Well, and it was a design quarterback sneak, and he wasn't able to sneak past any of those white jerseys right there, because that's going to be a loss of 10 on the play.
Now you got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range, even though it's only second down.
Well, and we were watching a pregame. Some of the Coronado kickers were putting them through from a decent distance. I was quite impressed.
I know. I saw Dylan Corley. I want to say he hit
there's
him
a big pump fake right there. Sorry, Carson.
No,
Vasquez throwing it, having to get rid of it. Otherwise, he would have taken another loss. That's a big break play right there by the young quarterback, right? Knowing that he had to get rid of it.
And you love seeing that from a young quarterback. That shows that he was learning something from the quarterback prior. In this case, it would have been Jet Carroll. And you almost wonder if he's like taking notes from maybe even Sawyer Robertson too. He can. I mean, the clips are all over YouTube, all over the internet. You can look up any single quarterback that you want, no matter how young you are, and you can learn from them at any age.
So according to Coach Mann, Isaiah Vasquez is a really calm, but the word I liked the most was that he's smooth. He won't overwhelm you with the arm strength or his athletic ability, but he will always be doing the right thing. The players around him trust him, and he will do whatever it takes to win. I loved what he said, though, about Isaiah Vasquez. He's smooth.
On the defense.
Right?
5-yard penalty.
We're going to listen to Oscar
third down.
here. Okay, delay a game going against Wichita Falls Riders, so 3rd and 20 is now going to become 3rd and 15 after that delay a game. Smooth. You want your quarterback to be smooth, right? And we kind of seen it whenever he's stepping up in the pocket. You can see that he's gone through some quarterback training. He's got smooth feet, great footwork, and, of course, as he threw that ball earlier down the field, it was because of that footwork. Here's Vasquez again. See, moving around, dancing in the pocket, feeling some pressure. He's got to get rid of it. Man, that was a big hit. And that's going to fall down incomplete. Jalen Gibbs rocked him there. And it's going to be 4th down.
Man, if he would have just tucked it and ran, he would have gotten at least 5 yards, if not more, right here, if he would have just took off and ran.
Man, I love that he's still trying to look down the field,
I do
though.
too.
I love that. And he saw number 8, Gibbs, coming right at him, and he wasn't afraid to get hit. He was willing to wait a few more seconds to see if his receiver would come open.
That's still just such a hard throw, though. Even if you don't have a receiver in your face, that's throwing away from your body.
Yeah, it's on that opposite end.
And it's uncomfortable.
Right, trips on that far side. Vasquez looking that way, feeling some pressure, and he's going to get sacked on the play. It'll be a turnover on downs. The Mustangs had something cooking there. They had the recipe and were driving downfield, but burned out and stalled out, and it's going to be a turnover on downs.
And I don't really mind the call to go for it right there. I mean, you're down 3 scores already before the half. You need something big to go your way, and you just can't afford to take a field goal right here.
They're giving us a shout-out right now on the video board saying you can watch on the Lubbock ISD YouTube channel. So we did some basketball games on the channel last year, and we found some success with it, right?
We did.
Especially the Monterey girls basketball run. And so I think it's really cool that we're allowed to have this opportunity to do this and bring this game, the best game in America, right? Texas high school football. Ooh, and almost completed there off the hands of the receiver, Gray Johnson, but it'll fall incomplete. But we're able to bring this game to our fans at home that, aren't able to make it. And I think that's pretty sweet.
And I just love that they don't have to pay for it. I know whenever
there's nothing worse than logging in and be like, insert in your TV provider, and it's like, dang it.
Yep.
You see here the instant replay of went off of the tips of his fingers. You got to like the defense there by Coronado. It's going to be a handoff, though, here on second down. Rumbling forward after a solid gain, Kenji Johnson. I love the way that young man runs the football, Carson.
I do too. He runs really hard, and he runs with a lot of heart.
Absolutely. The 5'11", 205-pound junior. That screams next-level running back. Just the intangibles, the size, the weight, the way he runs the ball. That's next-level stuff. Of course, Wichita Falls Rider has that across the board in a lot of different positions, too, and you see that a lot in the 5A ranks. It's going to be another handoff, this time to Jackson. He's going to get the first down and more. Still running across the 50, and will be tackled at the 45-yard line. One play right there, and they'll move the chains.
Well, and like you were just saying about the size and the physicals, Joe Castles, 6'5".
Yep.
Their backup quarterback, Cohen Maroney, sorry if I butchered that name, 5'11". That's still plenty tall to be a quarterback.
Right, and here's another handoff to Jackson. He's going to make it to the 40. I thought he got stood up there, but he continued to move his way forward, and a late flag will come in. It came here on the closer side towards us here, Carson, near around number 67 for Wichita Falls Rider, and that's Norman Mendieta, one of the most experienced offensive linemen for this team.
After the play, sportsmanlike conduct, number 67, offense, will be second down.
Coach Bindle in the ear of Mendieta there as he's trotting off the field. And those are the tough penalties, right? Those are the ones that when they go back and watch film study come Monday of next week, those are going to be the ones that they circle, right? Because those are self-inflicted, right? That's 15 yards or whatever it was there to lose off of something that happened after the play, right? Something that you can control. And at the end of the day, like coaches say, control the controllables.
Control the controllables, and it's just football, especially football, is just such an emotional game. It's very easy to let your emotions take over your actions, and I think, unfortunately, that's a big reason why so many unsportsmanlike conducts happen, why so many fights happen occasionally, and it's a very emotional sport.
So that was a design screen right there going to the running back there, and Coronado had 3 linemen right in the face of Castles. He just had to get rid of it. Great play there by the Mustang defense. It's now 3rd and 17.
It's a great play because it was a screen. When you have a halfback slip screen like that, you're designed to have all of your linemen shift to the left or the right depending on where the screen goes, and that just gives your defensive line free access to the quarterback, so it makes him have to hurry and get that ball off quicker than he might want to.
Castle's throwing it here, a lot of contact, and there's going to be a flag on the play. There was a lot of contact as he was releasing the ball to the receiver, and we're going to hear from our officiating crew one more time. If this goes against Coronado, this could be a tough loss because it will be an automatic first down.
It would be, and that would be a big break.
Defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yep, it's going to go against Coronado. Coach Mann at about the 40-yard line talking to the officiating crew.
And that's a big break for Ryder right there because that was 3rd and 17.
Yeah, and again, they're continuing to move the ball down the field. They are 3 for 4 in their 4 drives. This is offensive drive number 5 for them right here, and it's 21-0. Castle's rolling to his right. He's going to tuck it and run. Has a blocker in front of him and will step out of bounds, make the right play there as he moves the chains.
Man, is he quick.
He made the right decision, right? And a lot of times quarterbacks, especially younger quarterbacks, think, I can get a few more yards. I'm going to stay in bounds and try to lower my shoulder. But that's a young man right there that knows the value of a quarterback position and knows he needs to get out of bounds. It's going to be 2nd down and 1. He was just a yard short. It'll be a handoff. There's the first down. Still going. It's going to take multiple Mustangs to take him down, and he does. Kenji Johnson refusing to let one Mustang take him down. It's going to take multiple gold helmets to take him to the ground.
You know who he reminds me of? I got an NFL comparison for you.
Okay.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay, of the Chiefs.
He runs
Is it because he
hard.
wears number 0?
Nope, he runs hard.
No, he's number 10. He's number 10 for the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
he's number 10 for the Chiefs. But they both run hard, and they run with a purpose. And they don't go down very easily. They're like a boulder. They do not go down easy.
Like it. I like how you're drawing comparisons here with 3:23 to go in the first half. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson. He's going to hit that outside corner. Needs a block. And he's going to be dropped down at the 12-yard line. If that receiver there for Wichita Falls Rider Carson was able to hold that block a little longer, he would have been in the blue turf.
I couldn't agree more, but I would like to highlight how balanced their offensive attack has been. They have been all over the field, not just run, but pass also, and they have had success in both fields of the game. And I think that is just perfect. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. It's perfect. They have had great success moving the ball. They haven't had hardly any faults.
Besides that one penalty.
Besides the one penalty.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives happening on that opposite sideline from us. It's going to be another handoff. It's going to pushing forward, still rumbling forward, refusing to be taken down as well. Evandre Donnell with the carry. Donnell there, the third running back we've seen for Wichita Falls Rider, and he's running like the first two that we've seen, refusing to go down. You know, we're watching something here, Carson, similar to Monterey, right? They have multiple running backs that they're able to feed that are going to lower their pads, going to try to run over some people and get yards after contact. I think yards after contact is a stat that we need to try to figure out how we can keep, because that's what we're seeing here, right? Coronado's hitting them in the backfield, but it's those yards after making that contact is what's making the difference here.
Well, and it helps that there's the 2 or 3 different running backs that are all running the same way, because not only are all 3 of your running backs running hard, you're swapping them in and out so they're always fresh.
Yeah, and here's Donald's going to be going back to the sideline, and a couple running backs will be checking in here for Wichita Falls Rider. So you tip your cap to the Rider running backs, right? Because they're running, and they're running fiercely, and they're not going to be denied. But then, like we always do, I'm shifting to the offensive line. They don't go anywhere without those guys up front. It is, like you said, a balanced attack, and it's paid off for Wichita Falls Rider to start this game.
I couldn't agree more, and it's for the sole fact that the offensive line is the heart of the offensive and defensive line are the heart of the entire team, because without them, if you don't have a good offensive line, the opposing defense is just going to be crashing in on you every single play.
Absolutely. So we have another timeout here. Of course, our timeouts are presented by UMC Children's Hospital. Coronado's history. I found a website, Carson, called Lone Star Football. Okay, it's been around for a while. I've known about it whenever I was in sports at the local TV station here in town. But they keep tabs of all the schools, literally all the schools, of all their games and all of their records against common opponents and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Okay, so since 1966, Coronado has had a football team, okay? Tonight's game is game 554 in the history of Coronado High School.
Wow.
Their overall record, 282, 261 losses, and 10 ties. So they're a little bit above, right?
They're above 500.
They're above 500. And, of course, they're above 500 against Wichita Falls Rider. This is the 9th meeting between the two schools. Coronado is 5-3 against them, but Wichita Falls has won the last 2 meetings between the two teams. So, hey, look, we got some awesome fans here. I see Sienna out in the stands. She told me she was going to be here tonight.
I see a couple of my friends in that crowd.
There you go. Of course, Carson up here in the booth is a senior at Coronado, and hey, man, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I
appreciate it.
Great job. We're trying to produce professionals here in Lubbock ISD TV, right? The next generation of broadcasters, and Carson's got a future, that's for sure. 3rd and 4, a handoff to Jackson. He's going to hit the corner, pushed out of bounds right in front of the pylon. He's going to be just short, but a flag comes flying in at about the 7-yard line. Okay, that's a big break there for Coronado. We're talking about breaks with 1:04 to go in this first half. That penalty there is going to back them up 10 yards, and 3rd and 4 becomes 3rd and 14.
Well, and if you're Coronado right now, you really need breaks to go your way because of the sole fact you're down 3 possessions, about to go into the half.
There's the penalty there. Sorry to cut you off, Carson. Keep going.
But you're down three scores, about to go into the half. They're threatening again to make it go to 4 scores. You have to, if they get a field goal, it'll still be 3. But you have to get something to go your way, and you have to get something to go your way very fast.
Absolutely. 3rd and 14. It's going to be a pass. Castles trying to hit the wheel route to the receiver. Great defense by Coronado. That was Kenji Johnson coming out of the backfield, running that backside wheel route, and the Coronado defense sniffed it out.
And that was a far throw from basically the opposite hash mark to this opposite sideline. That's a long wheel route to not only run, but to throw to as well. It's kind of hard. It's actually really hard to get your receiver in space there.
Oh, another penalty going against Wichita Falls Rider. I believe he just had an offensive lineman downfield.
That's what it was, but Coronado declining it, making it go to 4th down, I believe.
Yeah, that's the right call. Because you'd rather not have to replay that down again and give them another shot at maybe able to find the end zone before the end of the first half. So here is a field goal, the first field goal opportunity for Wichita Falls Rider. Looks to be about a 30-yard kick. I'm going to stand up for this one. Of course, Kenji Johnson with the honors of getting to kick it here. The kick is up, and it's good. It's now 24-0. And Wichita Falls Rider is now 4 for 5 on putting points on the board when they have the football.
And that's a recipe for success right there, isn't it, Mr. Ward?
100%. 100%. The Mustangs will have 38 seconds, though, 2 timeouts to see if they can try to get the ball downfield. And I think this is where we see Vasquez try to show off some of his intangibles that we were talking about, his smooth footwork and maybe the poise and moving the ball down the field.
I think as long as he stays calm in the pocket and he trusts his offensive line to give him the pass protection, I think we might see some more of those deep shots that he tried earlier in the game that almost hit. And it was only one deep pass, but he's proven he can get the ball down the field.
Yeah. You know, in sports, right, you try to play the game where you're distributing the ball away from the great talents.
Exactly.
Right? And so when you're watching Wichita Falls on defense, number 8 stands out right away. If I'm down there calling the plays, I'm trying to avoid number 8. And so maybe we start seeing that, right? Isolating certain players and trying to avoid them.
I agree, and if it doesn't happen right now, I think it definitely gets mentioned at the half. They're going to find a way to start moving this ball. I just have that feeling in my gut right now. You know, I feel like every trial bounces back with success.
Okay.
I think that's just not only in football but in life as well.
I think that's how you're wired, man.
I'm wired some sort of way.
It's the Ward way is what it is.
The Ward way.
Yeah, it's the Ward way. So that kickoff, it was a pooch kick there, and it was fair caught at about the 33-yard line. So 67 yards and 38 seconds. It's still going to be tough, but it's not too tough to where it's not manageable.
You just need one big play. Like I said, you just need one deep shot. And it's not even that it has to be a deep throw. As long as it's like a 15, 20-yard throw and you get some yards after the run, or after the catch, then this makes this game this possession way more manageable to get points.
If the in between the safeties is wide open right there, Vasquez stepping up in the pocket. He's going to go between the safeties over the top, and there will be a flag. That's going to be pass interference, and that's going to be 15 yards for the Mustangs.
And only taking 7 seconds off the clock, that is actually very ideal.
Yeah, you'll take it if you're the Mustangs. You'll take it.
And that seemed like more than just pass interference. He got slung.
Let's take a look at this instant replay. A low snap. Vasquez, great job feeling the pressure on his backside there and able to try to go over the top to the receiver.
I think that's just the smoothness that Coach Mann was talking about, but also that you were highlighting just a second ago.
You can tell that he has been trained. Like, he has gone and seen a quarterback's coach. Because that young man, you could see it in the way he moves and the way he holds the ball as he's running, right? And that's going to be a sack on the play. Vasquez rolling to his right, and 3 different Wichita Falls Rider Raiders swallowed him up. It's going to be a pretty major loss there on that play.
Yes, it will, and that's the only downside to having those directional routes and you wanting to run to one sideline or another. It just makes it really hard for your blocks to set up, and it makes it even harder for a play to actually happen.
So they're going to let the clock go all the way out, and that's going to do it for the first half. Wichita Falls comes here to Lubbock and scores 24 in the first half. They've been impressive. Coronado is going to go into the locker room, Carson, looking to make some changes.
I think so, and you have to. You're down 24 points, still 3 possessions, but you've got to make a change now. You can't wait until the fourth quarter anymore to try to figure out this team. But I think they know they've found some things that have been working for them in the first half. They're going to continue to do them, and I think they're going to start seeing some success here shortly.
So 24-0. Coming up during our halftime show, you're going to have the volleyball report. We're going to get the update on all the great things happening on the volleyball court across Lubbock ISD. And I believe we're going to have some other amazing things that we're going to be showing. So you make sure you want to tune up or stay around, stay tuned in, because we have an exciting halftime program coming your way. But 24-0. Raiders on top of the Mustangs. We'll be back with more at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park right after this.
Welcome to Highlights. I'm Erin Gregg, joined by our production team of Lubbock ISD TV students. The Talkington School for Young Women Leaders recently welcomed their new class of 6th graders. It's a campus tradition to celebrate the new group of Lady Warriors and encourage them to think about the future. Let's watch.
It was about welcoming the 6th graders and making them feel more comfortable about being here.
As a first-generation graduate myself, the importance of having a ceremony where we can celebrate future graduates is really important to instill that belief and have them already thinking past just this year. So it was a ceremony to celebrate them, to honor that they're going to be the class of 2030, and for them to feel welcomed.
High schoolers, y'all need to show them how it's done.
Also for them to meet a mentor and an upperclassman. So they've been assigned a family with mentors that can guide them through what the expectations are at Talkington, things that they need to know, and just help them with the transition of coming into middle school.
The first couple weeks at Talkington can be rough. You're at a new school with new classmates.
It's going to be hard, but you got to get through it, and you belong here even if you don't believe you do.
I love that we had student voice, and the student that spoke, Vera Bradley, that gave the welcome speech, she was so impressive. And I think she's such a great example for them to see this is what you can do when you go to Talkington. It's just really limitless here. And that's the beauty, I think, of this school.
I really enjoyed the classes and making bonds with the teachers.
Liliana Aguilar.
Talkington is a part of Lubbock ISD, and they're also part of a nonprofit organization. And so Lubbock ISD and the Young Women's Network, they partner together. And so it is an all-girl college preparatory school and also the #1 magnet school in the state of Texas.
The classes are small, and it's just easier to connect with your teachers.
Again, as a first-generation graduate and achieving the things that I have in my life, I know the power and the impact that teachers can have on students. And it's just amazing to be here and to watch that and to be a part of such a monumental thing and change in these girls' lives, because it's a game changer to be here.
Probably the different elective options that open up. I really want to take a debate class.
Talkington is a magnet school, so it's open to young women throughout Lubbock ISD, and you can learn more about the campus by visiting our website at lubbockisd.org. Just click on the school section on the upper right corner. Andrew Babcock is joining us in studio today. Andrew is our Executive Director of Fine Arts, and we are talking about my favorite event of the year, which is celebrating a big anniversary. So Andrew, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, Erin. It's a fun time of year.
It is.
Band extravaganza is upon us again, and it is a big one. It's its 40th anniversary, so we're going to try to celebrate hard on this one. And great legacy of just celebrating fine arts in general, but obviously with band being a staple of football season and all the things this time of year. This is a big one, and we're really excited to share with the community all the things that have gone on with the programs this year.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's my favorite event. I love it. And for those who have never been to Band Extravaganza before, what can people expect when they show up?
Well, you're going to hear a lot of band, obviously, but it's all about giving our high school bands an opportunity to sort of pre-game their UIL showcase shows. So they're getting to finally get all of their material on the stage of the football field, and they get to present that in a quasi-competitive arena, even though it's not competitive, but in front of an audience that is very sympathetic and
right.
Open to
very
what
pro
they're
band,
doing.
yes.
Pro band,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And so it's a great opportunity for the community to see everything all at once in one space. But then we also have our middle schools there as well, and the middle school bands get to perform. They perform a piece on the opposite side of the field, and then they also get a chance to do something together as an ensemble. So it's going to be an event that you're familiar with if you've been there, but we're going to add some additional things in there as well for this special 40th anniversary.
Well, and I think one of the coolest things is at the very end of the event when we have the grand finale and all of our middle and high school band students are on the field at the same time is incredible. But in addition to the Lubbock ISD band students, we also have some other partners that kind of bookend the event.
Yes.
So tell us about them.
Yeah, so Lubbock Christian University is going to be there. They're going to perform the national anthem. And then we have the Going Band from Raiderland will be there as well to perform Loud and Proud right there in the middle. And so that's a huge highlight. It's a great opportunity for our crowd to see that, but our students to also take that all in as well. So very inspiring.
Yes. And so can you tell us any details about the 40th anniversary celebration?
Yes, we have a very special opportunity this year to do something that it'd be a very unique, I guess, event. With VIP access. We are having a dinner for 100 people, first 100 people. It's $40 a ticket, and the proceeds of that will go to student scholarships. And so we're looking forward to trying to see how we can support our kids as they advance their education beyond high school, but then to be able to give them the means to be able to go there. I mean, it's a lot of work to do those types of things, but we think it's going to be a special event that will not only give backstage access to some things for the event itself, but also really advance our kids' opportunities for further education.
Well, we're going to have all the details about this on our website. Yes. And so just give us the rundown, like date, time, and where you can get tickets.
Okay, so if you want to go to the Lubbock ISD website, you can click from there, but lubbockisd.org/band will take you there. There's also a QR code for you to have easy access to secure tickets. Again, the VIP tickets are $40, but general admission is $6, and we'll take your cash when you get there if you if you need to do that there as well.
Yeah, Tuesday, September 26th.
Tuesday, September 26th, 7:30, be there. There's nothing better going on in town.
I totally agree. Well, Andrew, thanks for being with us, and we'll have you back sometime this year to talk about all the great things happening in fine arts in Lubbock ISD.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now let's go on location with Sydney Kim.
Hey, Aaron, did you know that Buddy Holly would be 87 this year? We're here on location at Roberts Elementary where they're learning about Buddy Holly's history. Let's learn with them.
I want to tell you all about Buddy.
What are we doing today here at Roberts?
We're talking about Buddy Holly.
What's so special about Buddy Holly this week?
It's his birthday.
How old is he going to be?
87.
So what kind of music did Buddy Holly play?
Rock and roll. He is a performer.
What kind of things does he do to perform?
He uses instruments. He used a guitar.
Well, what's one cool thing you learned today that you didn't know from last year?
That he went on a tour with a bunch of other famous people.
Do you remember what that tour was called?
Winter Dance Fest.
One thing you learned today that you didn't know about Buddy Holly before?
Can't remember what it's called, but they traveled in a cold bus and the window was cracked.
Yep. Do you know what his band name used to be?
The Beatles.
The Beatles or the
Crickets.
You got it. What are you guys drawing on today?
A record player.
Is a record go on your phone?
No.
Why is it important for Buddy Holly to be here in Lubbock? Like, what's so important about Lubbock?
Because he performed here and he was born here.
What is your favorite thing about Buddy Holly?
That where he goes around Texas to sing for everybody. He performed here, and I think that was really cool.
Arts and Education Week is around the corner, and we want to thank all of our Lubbock ISD artists for bringing creativity and inspiration, just like Buddy Holly did. Until our next destination location, it's back to you, Erin.
Thanks, Sydney. Before school began, we celebrated a generous donation to our district. Martin Miller surprised 20 teachers with a donation to buy school supplies. Phyllis Underwood spoke with Mr. Miller about why he supports Lubbock ISD.
I'm here to introduce someone who has made the decision to make an investment in Lubbock ISD.
I am a financial advisor, independent contractor, and help people invest their money, work on retirement income, and putting kids through school. Well, the business has been so good to me, I want to give something back. So what we're doing is we're giving 20 teachers a check for $500. That's $10,000 for all you that don't do math. I initially focused my donations on the homeless, but I thought, you know what, if I could stop the problem maybe a little early, get these kids educated, maybe we'd have fewer homeless. Start at the root and keep the teachers in the game, and if they've got to go out and buy their own school supplies, they may want to decide to do something else. Penny chocolate. They did such a good job of educating me and the girls, my girls, who went through the LISD system. They went to Whiteside, they went to Irons, they went to Coronado High, and graduated from tech and all, and went on to become very successful in their own right. And I thought, you know what, let's start at the beginning, help folks when they need help and get them educated. These are our kids. What better way than to help them directly? I'd like to be able to do this once a year, if possible. If my business holds up and I can do it, I will continue. But I would like to challenge other business owners in town to maybe pick one teacher. I'm not asking them to spend $10,000. I'm asking them to spend $500. Yeah. Every businessman in town can afford a $500 check. These are the folks that patronize your businesses. Right. These are the children that are your customers. These are the parents that are your customers. Take care of them. Put something back. And if we get one businessman per teacher, maybe we have the whole system covered.
Thank you again to Mr. Miller for your generous donation to our teachers. And if you'd like to become one of our partners, you can contact Phyllis with the information on your screen. And you can check out our past partner stories online at LubbockISDTV.com. Coming up on the calendar, we want to remind families that students will not have school on Monday, September 25th. This is so staff can take part in professional development. We continue getting to know our new campus leaders. Today we're headed to Williams Elementary to meet Principal Suzanne McCall.
Hi, I'm Suzanne McCall. I am the principal at Nat Williams Elementary. My journey to Lubbock ISD was just pretty recent. This is my 4th year here. My first position was at Overton Elementary with Kevin Boo. It was totally different from what I'd been used to in a rural school district. I was serving as an administrator in Slayton. Having those 2 years at Overton, I think what it did was it just gave me a fire. I'm like, okay, I want to go start my own community. So definitely here at Williams, this school is dear to me. My mother, she was a teacher assistant here for 21 years. And so I remember fondly coming here as a college student and thinking, oh, okay, this is what it's going to look like. I spent 20 years in the classroom. I taught mainly 3rd and 4th grade. I always try as an administrator to think of how would I feel as a teacher. And so any decision that I make, anything that I come in and introduce or change or modify, I always have it, and I think of it from the lens and a heart of a teacher. So coming here, I think definitely community is already here. That's just for me now to come in and be a part of that and walk that right alongside and see what we can add. There's some great teachers, some great kids. I was able to be a little bit a part of it the last week of school. So I'm really looking forward to just carrying on what they've started here. The best thing about LISD for me has been the possibilities for our children. I mean, even for my own 2 kids, it's just been wonderful to think about, you know what, you're dreaming to be a baker or a chef one day, we've got you. You know, once you get to Irons Middle School and then on up to Coronado High School, we've got you. So I think that's the biggest impact for me as I made the journey over here, is just knowing that just we've got so many possibilities for our kids. My goal is always, as any principal, is to learn everybody's name, you know, the first 2 weeks. And so I'm going to start that first day of school, but I think too, just kind of the anticipation of just meeting a new group of people with my parents, with my kids. I just always look forward to that, already making that connection. So I think I'm most looking forward to just building that new community. Just a different spot in Lubbock, but just definitely something that's new.
We hope you have a great year, Principal McCall, and we'll introduce you to more of our new campus leaders in the coming weeks. And speaking of new, Lubbock ISD has a brand new app. It has a lot of updated features to help keep you connected with the district and your students' campus. The new app is free and easy to download. Just search for Lubbock ISD in the App Store or Google Play. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week to highlight more great opportunities only in Lubbock ISD.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
Hello, and welcome into the Lubbock ISD TV studios. We hope you enjoyed the first half of the Wichita Fall Rider versus Coronado game. My name is Diego Molinar, a senior from Lubbock High, and I am here with your volleyball report. So let's get into it. We start our first at 34th Street. The Mustangs are 12-18 on the season and are coming off a week where they went 1-1. They defeated Perryton 3-0, but then fell to Amarillo High. Mallory Holdman, a sophomore sensation, had a big week in terms of the stat book, totaling 43 assists, 16 digs, and 2 aces. That's big time. Up next for the Lady Stangs is their district play, where they will serve things up at Monterey today. First serve was at 5 p.m., but coming to this district opener, the Lady Playsmen are 16-14 on the season and have some playmakers across the board. Against Shallow Water, Bella Champion had 11 assists and 2 kills, and Maddie Debris had 14 digs, but what stands out is their defense at the net. Monterey and all of our teams will be so much fun to watch come district play. Speaking of fun teams, Lubbock High is coming off a big win against Seminole. They took down the Lady Maidens in 3 sets behind Alyssa Barrera's 14 assists, 4 kills, and 3 aces, as well as great contributions from Emma Bowling, Lexi Guevara, Bailey Literal, Kaya Garcia, and Bella Valdez. The Lady Westerners are back in action starting tomorrow when they host Tascosa at 10 a.m. and then Fort Stockton at 1 p.m. Now let's head on over to the Big E. The Estacado Lady Matadors went toe-to-toe with the Tulia Lady Hornets and battled their way to a 5-set victory. The Lady Mats improved their record to 5-16 on the season. Up next, the Lady Matadors are against the Brownfield Lady Cubs. First serve is tomorrow at 11 a.m. out in Brownfield. Now, looking at Estacado's remaining schedule, specifically how the other teams in the district are doing this season, I'd say we have a chance to see the Lady Mats do something special this season. So we are excited to see what they do. And finally, we head over to the home of the Toggington Lady Warriors. Finding information on the team was tough, but what I did find was some exciting things. This young and exciting team is growing together as a team and are playing some opponents that come from schools that are way bigger than them. Finally, we have some big news to announce for Toggington. The Lady Warriors will have their homecoming week from September 24th through the 29th. Of course, like all of our schools do, they make homecoming a big deal as they show off their school spirit. And that was your look at the volleyball report. We hope you enjoyed this week's rendition of the show, and we hope you enjoyed the second half of the Coronado Mustangs hosting the Wichita Fall Rider Raiders. And until next week, we hope you keep serving up some aces on the volleyball court.
The week of September 7th is a special time as our students celebrate the birth of music legend Buddy Holly by learning about the life and legacy of this famous Lubbock ISD graduate. At Roscoe Wilson Elementary, where Holly attended elementary school, the Wranglers hosted 50s Day. Families joined their students on the newly updated courtyard for a cookout lunch, and they were also able to check out some of the cool classic cars.
I've learned that he is a famous musician, and he changed rock music forever.
At Roberts Elementary, the Raiders took part in a special presentation by the City of Lubbock Municipal Museum staff. They shared details about Holly's life in Lubbock and his rock and roll career. Then, the students were able to create their own records, something many of them had never seen before. At Honey Elementary, the Bears also celebrated Buddy. Second graders learned about his music and then showed off their moves, all while wearing their cool 50s gear. As you can see, Holly's legacy is never forgotten. We also had some other celebrations. At McCool Academy, staff recognized their first Shooting Star Award winner of the year. It recognizes astronaut staff members for going above and beyond and is supported by Main Event, who provides a prize for the winners.
For us, it's just a token of appreciation, and it doesn't just come from leadership, it comes from other staff across the campus. And so it's also recognition and respect for what they do.
It was a great day at Dunbar College Preparatory Academy. Keekler Law Firm, Reliant Energy, and Whataburger teamed up for a special presentation. Whataburger provided lunch for all students and staff from their impressive food truck, and the Keekler Law Firm set up a 360 camera for the Panthers to enjoy, and they teamed up with Whataburger to provide new sweatshirts for all the students. Reliant raffled off a prize package, including tickets to a Texas Tech football game, and they all made a monetary donation to the campus to support more fantastic learning opportunities. At Bean Elementary, students took part in a fun lesson. They used a QR code to access a presentation to learn about forces of flight at their own pace. Then, they demonstrated their learning by naming those forces to their teacher. It's one of the many great ways our educators incorporate technology into student learning.
It's actually like puzzles, and I really like it. It's really fun.
And now, you're in the loop with Lubbock ISD.
Hello, my name is Nevaeh.
Hello, my name is Isaac.
Hello, my name is Abby.
And I'm one of the many Lubbock ISD TV students bringing you tonight's live stream.
If you appreciate our coverage, we hope you'll consider one of our sponsorship opportunities.
Your support gives us the opportunity to travel to state and national competitions,
where we represent our entire district in audio and video production contests.
Last season, our students received multiple awards in Skills USA and the Student Television Network.
If you'd like to support us, contact Kenneth Dixon with the information on your screen.
And thank you for watching.
Got about 2.5 minutes to go. 24-0 Raiders on top of the Mustangs. Here are some of our stats from the first half, and it tells it all, right? Mm-hmm. The numbers never lie. Rushing yards for Coronado, -5 and 87 through the air for 82 total yards. While you look at the rushing for Wichita Falls Rider, they've been able to establish the run and assert their dominance at the offensive line and at the running backs.
Well, and that's what I've loved so far about their gameplay today, is that they've just been running the ball almost every down, and they only pass when they have to. That's what's really been key for them, is because, like you mentioned earlier this game, they have 2 or 3 running backs that they are switching out consecutively, and they're all getting their own reps, and they're all running harder than the last, than the last rep. So that's what I love about what Wichita Falls Rider is doing tonight, and I can't wait to see them do more of it, because it's honestly really fun to watch.
So coming into this game, Joe Castles had a 72% completion, right? That tells me that he's completing his passes at an extremely high rate. That is an elite level percentage. And so, and he's right now 4 for 7 tonight, but what I'm trying to get to is that he's efficient, right? When he does throw the ball, 99 or 72% of the time it's being caught. So we do have some highlights from the first half that we do want to showcase. And of course, Wichita Falls Rider is really going to lead the charge with the highlights. Here's one of the touchdown runs. That one is going to be Elijah Jackson. That was a 1-yard carry. That was the second touchdown of the game that gave them the 14-0 lead. Another one here, and this was the big breakaway run by Kenji Johnson. That one was 65 yards at the 6:57 mark in the second quarter, and the extra point was good. It's 24-0. Of course, the guys from Wichita Falls finding a lot of success. Coronado, though, did have some successful plays, Carson. Here's one of them to Cyril Garrett, where the offensive line went out and did the crack block and was able to give him an opportunity to make a big play. And, of course, another play that they had success on coming up right here. It's Vasquez hitting the receiver on the screen. Of course, that was Garrett throwing it to another receiver. The little trickery there. But that's all the Mustangs really had going on the offensive end. Those were the two bright spots from the first half. And, you know, they went into the halftime trying to make some adjustments.
Yes, and you have to think that they did. But if I'm Coronado and if I'm Coach DJ Mann, I'm focusing on those two or maybe even more plays that it really kind of works. They saw something in the defense. They saw what they liked, and they mismatched it, right? And that's what they really want to try to exploit more of in the second half, but they're also wanting to really focus on the defense, making sure that the big plays don't happen, especially the big running plays, because there hasn't been a mass amount of passing yards like you mentioned. So it's just more so cracking down the defense, making them ready for the run. But now on the flip side, you almost wonder if Wichita Falls Rider is going to maybe start passing more because they know that Coronado is trying to compensate for the run.
I think they're going to go back to feeding the running.
I
they
think
had
so
three
too.
different running backs that were doing what they do, and what we talked about in the first half, they were balanced, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were running, they were passing when they needed to, and so I'm excited to see the second half. I'm thinking we might see something different, right? Because both these teams are really good at making adjustments on the fly. Of course, Wichita Falls Rider, we've talked about it. It's their last season as a school, but they have 40 seniors on the roster in their final season. Yeah, the Rider Raiders are a senior-heavy team. When you have 40 seniors, I would say there's plenty of leaders, and hopefully that translates into a memorable season for them. As of right now, they're 2-0. Looking great tonight, right? This is looking to be a memorable season for them. I couldn't get that word out right there.
And you know, like, everybody mentions going out with a bang. That's exactly what the Rider Raiders are wanting to do. They want to end their last season of high school football with a bang.
Well, so in game one, it was the 62nd and final matchup between them and Wichita Falls High. In front of 15,000 people, they went out with a bang in that one. They won 41-13. They also defeated Decatur 38-14. Decatur in the 4A ranks, but a really good program. And so they've had a couple statement wins to get this year started. And as of right now, through 2 quarters and starting early on in the third quarter, they're primed to have another one that they can chalk up in the column. But, of course, still a lot of game to go. A lot of game to go, and a lot of things can happen. We're both baseball guys up here, and we believe in the jinx. And so that's why we had to follow it up with that, right?
We had to.
Of course, up next on the schedule for the Coronado Mustangs is Abilene Cooper. That's going to be a away contest. That will be the final non-district game for Coronado. Of course, they go through the gauntlet every year in non-district play, and they do this on purpose, right? This allows them to learn. This allows them to grow. And when you go through the trials and errors of a game, right, you learn. And that's what they do during these non-district games with Coach Mann. He purposely schedules hard so that they can iron out all the wrinkles come district play.
Well, and if you're just playing teams of your level or even lower than your level, it doesn't really challenge you. And you might be doing things that are working in that game, but they might not work against better opponents. And so I completely agree with you that DJ Mann has just been stacking their non-district games because, like you said, they want to iron out all the wrinkles, but they really want to make sure that they can fix any mishaps that would happen against the better teams. That way they can be more prepared for the district games.
Back on offense we go is Wichita Falls Rider. getting taken down at around the 45-yard line. That's going to be a first down for Kenji Johnson. They're back in Coronado territory. Of course, Ryder went 4 for 5 in that first half on offensive drives. Of course, it was 3 touchdowns and 1 field goal. Johnson was the one that knocked it through. And they have their first timeout called right here. Of course, all of our timeouts this season are presented by UMC Children's Hospital. Thank you to UMC Children's Hospital, and we're going to take the timeout as well. 10:27 to go here in the third quarter. Ryder driving, they're up 24-0. We'll be back with that right after this.
It's Premiere Week.
It's Premiere Week.
It's Premiere Week on Lubbock ISD TV. I'm really excited.
Join us starting next week
For all new student-produced shows.
We are going live.
all new student-produced shows like
That's what I call TV.
The Connection.
We're going to work on our first LAISD Today show.
And don't you forget, you can watch anytime at LubbockISDTV.com.
At LubbockISDTV.com.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Quick timeout there, 24-0. Ryder driving. It's going to be Jackson on the handoff. Will gain a few on the play. Great job by that second level of the Coronado defense to recognize run and go downfield to make that play.
And that's what you want them to do. You want every single player on the field to recognize run or pass. That way the secondary can help, help reinforce the defensive line. There we go. I had to think about it for a sec. But when everybody's on the same page, everything can go one's way.
You know that face you make whenever the light bulb goes off in your head? Carson, when I looked over at him and he had that reinforcement thought, that's when the light bulb came on, and that was awesome to see. 2nd down and 9. Great move there by the receiver to find some separation. Will be tackled after a gain of about 3. But without the shiftiness there, Carson, by the receiver, there would have been nothing going for him.
And you see a lot of receivers using that as their go-to move, just being shifty, taking a little jab cut or whatever you want to call it, and just making plays with their legs, getting into more space so then they can just take off, do whatever they want.
Right, it was Cohen Maroney there with the catch. It's going to be 3rd down and 4. The band bringing some energy after halftime. Of course, the band always does every game. Jackson there on the carry. He's got the first down. He continues to be able to get to where they need to gain and just a little bit more, and that's got to be deflating for a defense.
It's got to, because now you're lining up every single time. Man, we got to go against this guy again, you know?
Right.
And just knowing that his presence is being felt from the sole fact of his legs.
It's going to be a pass on that one, a screen pass. Breaking away there is Kenji Johnson. He'll gain about 3 on the play. They'll keep the clock rolling, though. Of course, Johnson normally lining up in the backfield there. You like trying to see him get the playmaker, the ball up in some space. Moving quickly is Ryder. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson. He's going to try to bounce it outside. He does hit that corner. He's going to get a first down and more. Tackled at about the 15-yard line. That young man is special, and he's having himself a night tonight.
Man, and the Coronado defense actually broke through and was there to tackle him for a loss. He just took one little cut, got to the outside corner, took advantage of it, and got a big gain out of it.
Coming into tonight, Johnson had only had 30 carries, averaging about 15 per game. He's on well more than a path of having more than 15 tonight. He has been the feature back tonight. Tyron Morgan, right, he's a guy that does it all. He's been a pretty big feature in that backfield as well as on the defensive end. We kind of previewed him in the preview thinking that they would miss him, but they've picked up the next man up mentality, right? And they're making plays happen.
Well, and that's how every team really wants to be. If someone goes down, next man up, I'm going to play that position to the best of my ability. That's in the mindset of every athlete I could ever think of, and especially every coaching staff that I could ever think of. It's the next man up. We want to be as good without them as we were with him.
A pass over the middle, and it's going to be caught. Touchdown, Ryder. Wide open in the end zone is Drew Haston, the 6'1" senior, and they extend their lead.
And that was just great awareness by the quarterback right there. The pocket was collapsing like no other. And he just bought a little bit of time, found the gap in the hole that his offensive line was creating, and found the wide open receiver in the end zone.
He was right in between the safeties. There was nobody home for Coronado in that one. Great job by the quarterback, most likely going through multiple reads in that option right there. And the extra point up and good. It's now 31-0. Here's the instant replay of it, Carson. And I'm going to let you dissect what happened here.
Well, like I said, just the pocket started collapsing. He saw his wide open receiver in the end zone, and it's like you said, that wasn't his first read. That was probably his.
I'd probably say second or third.
I would say initial 1 or 2, but he was definitely looking somewhere else before then, making it at least the third read, and it was a perfect read.
And he put the right amount of touch on it too, right? When you're throwing on the run, it was a jump pass. He got up in the air to throw it.
And it's really hard because when you're throwing on the run, you really just want to try getting the ball there. So it's really easy to just zip the ball in, but that makes it so much harder for your receivers to catch it.
Baseball helps football.
It does.
Baseball helps football. And this past baseball season for the Mustangs, Jet Carroll got hurt. Isaiah Vasquez stepped in and filled in at shortstop. And did those lights translates to these lights, right? The baseball lights translates to the Friday night lights. And I'm thinking maybe Castles on the other side has got to be a part of the baseball program, right? The way he was able to jump up and throw it there.
If I had to assume, I would say he's a shortstop as well.
I don't know. He's so tall. He's got to play first base, right?
You would think, but you'd be surprised also.
Yeah, I have my computer in front of me. I kind of want to look at the baseball roster for Wichita Falls Rider. It's 31-0. Raiders on top. Of course, most likely the last time these two teams meet, right? Unless they meet in the playoffs, this is it. It's going to be a pooch kick, end over end. It's going to drop down. The ball's still loose. Rider has a chance to get on it, and it looks like they do.
What a hit.
The line judge is looking for some help here, and it's going to go the way of the Raiders. That ball dropped perfectly in between two Coronado Mustangs and into the hands of Rider Raiders after they popped him there.
And that was just a great hit, a very well-timed hit to make sure that ball popped free.
Right. If we have an instant replay of that, I'd love to see it. I just know that this is another moment here in this game where Coronado needed the ball to roll their way, and it's not right now. Carson, you nailed it. Yeah, he timed that hit perfectly to knock that ball loose.
It was beautiful.
Special teams being special tonight for Rider.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. It's going to be 1st and 10, ball at the 25 now. The 7th drive of the game for Wichita Falls. Feeling some pressure as Castles. He breaks away from the first tackle, but not the second. He's going to go down for a slight loss on the play.
And even Castle he was down. He was about to be a 4-yard sack, but him just fighting, keeping his legs moving, and he only lost maybe half a yard, maybe a yard.
Yeah.
Just great effort, great drive from Castle right there.
See Coach Bindle there in his 10th season leading the charge at Wichita Falls. Rider, of course, I'm anxious to hear what his future will be, right? And, of course, all the other coaches across the Wichita Falls area, as Wichita Falls High, Hershey, and Rider will all become 2 new schools next year.
And that'll be interesting, especially for sports, seeing what division they end up being, who their quote-unquote rivals would be, and seeing who they play non-district. It'd just be interesting.
But what I like about it is, even though I'm a traditions guy, love traditions, right? It's going to get rid of all the traditions, all the old school traditions, but it's going to start new traditions. And that's what I'm excited to see. Like you said, who will be the new rival? Who will be, right? What are the new mascots going to be? I'm anxious. I want to know. All right, 3rd and 8. It's going to be a pass to the running back and tackled down at the 20-yard line. It's Kenji Johnson. Johnson has had his number called a lot tonight, Carson, and he stepped up.
And he's played more than just running back. He's punted the ball, if I remember. He's kicked it. I mean, he truly is an athlete.
Mr. Do-It-All. We see that a lot, kind of, not a lot at this level, at like the 2 or 3A level, right, where players are playing both sides, but we're starting to see it at the 5A level too. I know there's a lot of players from Monterey specifically that comes to mind that play both sides of the ball, right? Jamarcus Smith, running back, cornerback. For Estacado, Bobby Ross, running back, defensive lineman, right? We're starting to see that at the high school level. You want your athletes on the field at all times, right? The guys that can go out there and make plays. And we're seeing them at the highest levels here at 4A, 5A, and sometimes 6A.
Well, and when you're a dual threat athlete playing multiple positions, you're wanting the reps at both positions, because then ultimately, if you get into college, then you can decide which one you want to play more if you don't want to play both positions in college.
Yeah, or if you're Travis Hunter at Colorado.
I was just about to mention that.
Yeah, that young man, early Heisman favorite, right?
Man,
after his game against TCU.
He is special. He is special. That is true.
Second down and 8, 4 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the third quarter. Again, you're looking at the Wichita Falls Rider sideline. They got to be feeling pretty, coaches always find the negatives in things, but they got to be feeling pretty good on that sideline.
And they really haven't had any mishaps happen this game. And I think as a coaching staff, you're happy with that. I mean, you've got to be happy with that.
Right.
You can't just find a negative and just stick with it. Your running game has been phenomenal thus far.
I think I have one negative that they will put to look at.
Okay.
There's been some penalties, and when I say some penalties, it's the kind of penalties where they're preventable. You know what I'm saying?
Are.
Like there was a couple personal fouls, there was a couple pass interferences. I know they will find something and they will fix it. That's how coaching staffs work. Right?
I agree. But luckily for them, it hasn't hurt them.
Absolutely. Castle's in the shotgun with Jackson directly behind him. Rolling out after the fake, and it's going to be a pass that's incomplete. It looked like it was caught, but it must have hit the turf. Fell incomplete. Hunter Talley, the running back sophomore, trying to make the play. He's got some great hair coming out of the back of that helmet there, Carson.
I used to have a hairstyle like that.
I never had hair like that. Jealous. That's what that is right there.
Jealous.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so back out is Kenji Johnson. He has a chance to see if he can put another field goal on the board here. Of course, he connected on a 30-yard one earlier. It's now a 28-yard one. The snap is not good. Johnson's going to have to pick it up, and the play will be dead right there. Coronado's going to take over at about the 18-yard line. Oh, wow, that changes it right there. So that's gonna might possibly put the offense back out there for Wichita Falls, and you see Castles trotting back out.
And I was just about to say, I swore I saw the defensive end jump right there, and I knew I saw something. I didn't see a flag that called it though.
Yeah, it must have come on the opposite end where we weren't paying attention, but that scenario where from 4th and 6 now to 4th and 1 means they're bringing back the offense, and Jackson's going to get the handoff. There was some pressure. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage. Coronado might have made the stop, and it doesn't look like it there. It's going to be 1st and goal. That was another close one right there, Carson, where the defense was able to get in the backfield and was able to make contact, but Jackson was able to power forward and get those yards that he needed after that initial contact.
Well, it's just like you mentioned earlier about him just barely getting enough every time they need a first down, and he just displayed it right there.
And that's, again, deflating for a defense, right? Because it's 4th down. You're thinking one more stop and we're getting off the field. And it's going to just be just short. A direct snap, and that's going to be a score. Touchdown, Raiders. But there is a flag on the play. Avonjay Donald on the carry. We're going to hear from Oscar Shorten here.
Illegal motion, offense number 12, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Okay, so if you're Coronado, you're grateful for that because Donald just found a way to punch it in. But now they're going to have to reset here. 1st and 9 becomes like 1st and a little bit more.
1st and a little bit more, and
okay, so it was 1st and 4. Now it's 1st and 9.
And if you're if you have one takeaway from that play right there, if the penalty never even happened, it's that he walked into the end zone practically untouched. If you're Coronado, you have to find a way to just swarm the ball at all times.
Donald there.
Wow.
Dancing his way to the 1 yard line. That was an impressive run right there. He bobbed and weaved his way through the traffic, ricocheting off of defenders there and eventually being taken down at the 1. Check out this instant replay. This is impressive, Carson.
I've been impressed the whole night. I mean, he's just bouncing off of guys. It also didn't look like in the replay that a lot of defenders were getting their arms wrapped all the way around Donald. But that's just keeping your legs moving, getting 1 more yard, getting 1 more step.
And stuffed at the line right there. The Coronado defense not allowing him to have the touchdown. Donald there trying again, just this time short. It's going to be 3rd down and 1.
Well, and I think if you're Coronado, you expect the run here. 1, it's goal line. 2, they've been running on you all night. I would not expect anything different. I think if you throw it, you risk something bad happening.
Yeah, the playbook for 3rd down and 1 probably is narrowed down to like 90% running plays, right?
I guarantee it. And I also
we all have flashbacks of the Seahawks throwing that interception in the Super Bowl.
Man.
It's going to be Donald on the carry. Has the hole and scores. Give him 6. The Raiders extend their lead. It's now 37-0.
And I said it earlier, they've started the year hot with 2 dominating wins. And this is just going to keep the good times rolling with the 3rd if they keep it up.
You see the confidence and the poise in this team. I like the way he reacts there with Donald. It's the been there, done that kind of reaction there, right? The extra point, of course, by Johnson. A good snap. End-over-end kick, and it's good. It's now 38-0 with 45 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. You see on his shirt there, it says Rojo. Do you know what that means, Carson?
I feel like I should, but I know I don't.
Well, this is their saying in Wichita Falls Rider. We were talking about traditions earlier. It means right on, honorable one.
I would not have guessed that.
So there's a long story behind it. But for me, my cousin graduated from Wichita Falls Rider.
Oh.
Okay? My team in high school played Wichita Falls in the playoffs. We played Rider, okay, when I was in high school. And Rider blew us out, okay, ending the season, my senior year for our football team. I will never forget Rojo because that's what they were chanting the whole game.
Right.
So right on, honorable one. And I think it's kind of fitting for their final season, right? They're looking to ride on, honorable one.
And I can't even add to it. That's just, you said that so perfectly.
There's an awesome story behind it that dates all the way back to 1973. That was a fun little research story I did coming into tonight.
You did a lot of research.
I have 9 pages of research.
I know you do.
9 pages. For a 2-hour game, I'll do like 6 hours of homework, maybe more.
Man.
At the end of the day, you want to be good, right?
I need to be more like you. I need to be more like you.
Of course, we got about 350 people tuning in right now. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. It's going to be another pooch kick here on the kickoff. And it'll be returned to about the 31-yard line. You know what I like about those pooch kicks, Carson? It a lot of times eliminates the big return possibilities, right? Because those 2 guys that are back way deep for a reason, right? They're athletes that are super fast, that can, run the other end in no time at all. And so those pooch kicks a lot of times eliminates the opportunity, but then also does what it did on the last kickoff, right? It puts the players that are receiving the kick in an awkward position to where they have to communicate, see who's going to catch it.
Well, and also, you mentioned every point besides what I'm going to mention. When you have 2 receivers deep and you kick it deep, you have more blockers in front of you.
Yep.
So it's not just the speed, it's the amount of strength that they have in front of them.
That ball batted down instantly. That's Donald there. The guy that just scored the touchdown, getting his mitts on the ball there and not allowing it to go anywhere.
Just great penetration right there by Donald.
You're going to see it here on the instant replay. He gets his hands up and blocked. And he almost was able to gather that back in right there. That would have been even more impressive.
If he would have just cradled his arms just a second earlier, man, he might have had himself a pick six right there.
Mustangs going to the air here, and it's a screen. Getting rocked after a few yards on the play. That's Markel Smith on the reception. He's listed as a corner, playing some wide receiver here, Carson.
And they might be trying to find different looks, get people different reps at different positions, because the fact of the matter is you need something to go your way, and your players right now, your star players, your star receivers, they might just not be having their best day at receiver or tight end or whatever position they play.
That's going to be a catch right there, and that will move the chains. That's some positive momentum there for the Mustangs as we're about to head into the fourth quarter. This game is zooming. It's not even 9 o'clock, and we're heading into the fourth. I might have jinxed it. I'll knock on wood real quick. But it's the Raiders on top of the Mustangs, 38-0. We're going to take a quick TV timeout, and when we come back, we're going to have some fourth quarter action presented by Lubbock ISD TV. You're watching Coronado Mustang football. And develop a passion. Carson up here with me tonight, without a question, has a future in this industry, okay? He dreams and aspires to be a sports reporter and maybe do some of this as his career. And so we're going to flip roles. I've been doing play-by-play tonight. I'm going to hand the keys off to this young man, and until he's ready, I'll be his color analyst. So, Carson, take it away.
All right, and we see Isaiah Vasquez hitting the swing route on the left side, on the close side of the field.
Yeah, that's going to go to Demarion Finch. Finch there running that wheel route there, right, and getting a little bit of separation. It brings up a third down and manageable now.
And now you almost wonder if there's going to be another run play, or not another run play, another pass play, excuse me, and another short pass play at that.
And you're starting to see in the box here, they're loading the box, Wichita Falls did, and it paid off there on that third down.
And that run's going to get stuffed. It's going to get stuffed. It got maybe a half yard. It's going to be 4th down and 3.
Hey, Carson, we just got the stats from the third quarter, as now we are officially in the fourth quarter. Coronado with 99 passing yards, but what stands out to me is -5 rushing yards. They want to definitely get that turned around, especially Demarion Finch, as good as a running back as he is.
And you know he's just not accepting that kind of game from him right now as that pass is completed on the left side of the field.
You saw the defensive lineman there, Carson, rushing on that left side, feeling some pressure in his face. He still was able to deliver that pass to the receiver. Tip your cap to the quarterback.
Well, and it's like you said earlier, smooth, poised. That's exactly what he displayed right there.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a swing pass to the left. And a little shiftiness displayed right there.
Yeah, there was 3 defenders right in front of him right there. Of course, that was Dom Parrish on the completion. I love his size, Carson. He really stands out when you look at him.
6'3", 215.
Yeah, that's all the intangibles that coaches look for, right? You can't coach height or build like that.
And pass is taken, or snap, excuse me. And that's going to get swallowed up. He's going to be sacked behind the line.
It's going to be a loss, but I loved how he tried to go through his reads, right? The defensive line really put some pressure on him, but you'll see here, he kind of tries to step up in the pocket as he does feel that pressure. It's just too much and too many white jerseys coming and taking him down.
Now we're starting to see trips on the far side of the field. One running back.
They are in the territory of the Raiders. One of the few times they've been here tonight, but not for long, Carson.
Not for long, as that's going to be a sack at the 47-yard line, it looks.
Yeah, it's Elijah Jackson. We were talking about players earlier, Carson, that do play on both sides of the ball. Number 11 has been all over the field tonight, and he's not just scoring touchdowns, he's sacking the quarterback.
He's been all over the field. He's been all over it.
And Vasquez really didn't have a chance to see him. He came from that backside, and that's why the left tackle position is so important in football, right? It's the blind side of a lot of quarterbacks, and he felt the pressure there on that sack.
Well, and it's just scary knowing that at any moment you could have someone hit you from the backside and a ball pop out, or, you know, I don't even want to say the other options, but it's just scary.
So we have a timeout out on the field. Coach Mann didn't like what he saw there, Carson.
He didn't, but also there was a high snap right there, and I think he's okay with that.
Of course, this timeout here is a UMC Children's Hospital timeout. Carson doing the play-by-play right now, and without UMC Children's, you wouldn't be able to be doing this.
I would not. So thank y'all. Thank y'all, UMC.
Carson, you like doing play-by-play? It's a different approach.
It is different. I'm trying to think of the words to say, and like.
I think I agree with our producer
it's
Emma
different.
right here. I agree with Emma.
It's different.
You just got to keep going. You just got to keep doing it.
Got to keep going.
And I'll help keep us on the track here. Of course, Carson, a senior at Coronado, and again, you're going to go to North Texas after this, right?
I am going to go to North Texas.
So the lovely people from Wichita Falls that are watching us, you're going to be kind of neighbors to them because Denton's not too far away from Wichita Falls. Is that punt by Vasquez? It's going to roll out of bounds, man.
Yep, it's going to bounce out at the 39-yard line. Just looked like it shanked off of his foot, off the right side of his foot. Obviously didn't really go probably where he wanted it to.
That's Isaiah Vasquez's third punt of the evening, rather. And coming into that punt, he averaged 32 yards a punt. His longest was 37. But like Carson just said there, it went off the side of his foot. Well, and realistically, right, when Vasquez is out there on the field, he's out there thinking quarterback, not punter. And right, how often does he practice that? He might practice it a lot, but
he might have tried directing that punt for all we know. But it's just so harder. It's so much harder than it looks.
Absolutely.
As there's going to be a run and a big hole. He's going to get that up to the 45-yard line of Coronado.
Yeah, Bryson Coach there. The fourth running back we've seen in this game tonight for Wichita Falls Rider. He was patient, and that's quite impressive to see. Of course, there's a new quarterback that has checked into the game for the Raiders as well. Steven Mars, the senior, 6'3", comes into the game.
And you love to see that they're starting to get their subs in. They don't want to hurt their starters, but they want to get everybody reps. And they have the comfortability of doing that right now.
And that brings a lot of cohesion and a lot of team unity when players that put in the work every day in practice get to see some playing time out on the field. That ball was caught. I thought that hit the ground, Carson.
It looked like it did, but it was a screen pass that got blown up by not only the defensive end getting in the quarterback's face, but also the cornerback charging onto the receiver right there, but it did look like it was incomplete.
Yeah, the hit there, the initial hit didn't look like it was going to be enough, Carson, as the receiver bounced off of him. But as he tried to regather his feet, he lost it under the new turf that we got here at Lowry, and it will be a loss on the play.
We just need the Lord to let it rain. We need to let it rain, let it pack the wood chips down a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit. I'm anxious to see with the new quarterback in, right, do they continue to do their even balance, Carson?
Well, they're going to keep running it, I can tell you that, and they're going to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great job by the Coronado defense there. Expecting run on that second down, and the second level of that defense, the linebackers crashing the gaps and not allowing him to hit a hole there.
Well, and if you're Coronado, you're going to be doing this. You should have been expecting this since the half started, and that's run. They're going to keep running it. They're going to keep running it. They're going to keep running it.
Zakavian Washington will get credit for that tackle. The 6-foot senior linebacker.
They have three wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back lined up. That's going to be a little screen pass that's going to be knocked loose for an incompletion.
You love to see what the cornerback did right there, Carson. He was able to make contact with him, right, and punch that ball out was the reason why that ball was able to get out of the hands of the receiver.
And that was actually number 88, Evan Walters.
Love the pressure there from the nose tackle getting to the quarterback, too. It kind of made the throw be rushed a little bit. Coronado looking to get off the field here. It's now 4th and 11, Carson.
And if you're Coronado, you've wanted a break all game. They've had a couple, haven't been able to turn it into much. But you will take every single break you get from this moment forward.
This is the 3rd time tonight that the Mustangs were able to hold the Raiders to no points. Of course, this is that was their 8th drive right there.
And now it's 4th and a county mile, and they're going to be punting it away. And that is a boot.
Oh, and lost right there, but gathered in. So the Mustangs will start from there, Carson, from the 16-yard line. And you got to think they're keeping their starters in.
They have to. They have to. They have to keep the same players in that they've been comfortable with all year. They got to just try to find what's working. They got to start passing the ball. 5 minutes, 40 seconds is not a lot of time to get back a 38-point deficit, but it starts with one pass at a time, one play at a time. Just taking what the defense gives you. We haven't mentioned it at all this game.
I was waiting for you to say that. Take what the defense gives you.
I don't know why I hadn't mentioned it earlier. And a 5-step drop. It's going to be a screen on the right side of the field, and that's got some space. That's going to be a first down.
I like to say one play, move the chains. That's the kind of stuff Coronado wants to do, right? They want to be able to get their playmakers out in space, let the big guys up front open some lanes, and that's a great way to do it right there with a screen pass.
And those screens, when placed so, what's the word? Placed so correctly, I guess, it can be a big play. Scrambling out right. I can't tell if he caught that or not.
I believe he did, yeah, and that's going to be a gain of about 2 on the play. Oh, no, it did. It fell incomplete.
That's what I say. I didn't see any referee in the area, but it's hard for me to tell.
5:04 to go here, and you got to think, Carson, that the Mustangs want to get some points on the board and build some positive momentum so that they have something positive to build on for next week.
I was just about to say that as you started your thought. And I couldn't agree more. You gotta build some momentum, some positivity. That way you can take something into next week. And that's a big run. Rumbling forward to the 39-yard line. 39.5-yard line if you want to be technical.
Yeah, Davian Lopez there had a hole that you could drive a Mack truck through, and you got to tip your cap to the offensive line. There was a big pull there. The reason why that defensive end in the hole was able to be made like that. So the big guys up front getting some love right there.
And we've seen this pistol formation from Coronado a lot recently as there's another run for about 5 yards.
You know what I saw right there in that play, Carson?
What's that?
I saw a play of a team that's not giving up, right? You see a young man right here lowering his pads, determined to get that extra yard on the play.
And I couldn't agree more because obviously you want points, but you want to take this drive into the next game. And therefore, that's why they're still running this ball. As there's a swing pass to the left side of the field that's going to be batted down.
Coaches coach that kind of stuff, getting your hand up. When you see the quarterback cocking the arm back like that, get your hand up as the defensive lineman. Create a spot where they're going to have to move their arm to create an alley to throw it. So tip your cap again to Wichita Falls Rider for doing the little things right in that moment, right? Getting the hand up and not allowing a big play.
There's a 2-step drop. Another swing pass to the left side and in and out of the hands, but looks like he came down with it.
Great job by Vasquez there, Carson. There was nobody open at any level except for that one option. Great coverage by the Raiders in that secondary, and that will look like a catch, and it'll be a loss of a yard on the play.
When it looked like he was looking at the left side of the field the entire time, just saw the running back on the swing route out of his peripheral, getting into the open man, just a little bit too high of a throw for him to control it.
This is a big 4th down, Carson.
It's a big 4th down. Play action, rolling out right, throw on the run, beautiful. But it's not going to amount to much.
Yeah, no, there was 2 Rider Raiders there, and the strong safety came in and just cleaned it up right after that. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Carson, great stuff, man.
Thank you.
Great stuff. It's going to be a turnover on downs, and I'm going to take over from here. We do need to take one final commercial timeout, and we're going to take it right here. It's 38-0 with 3:09 remaining. The Raiders take over on possession after that 4th down loss on the play. So we'll be right back, and we'll end this game. This game's being presented by Lubbock ISD TV. Think of the fastest timeout in human history, that one was it. 1st and 10. Pushing forward for a gain of a few on the play. More running backs getting more touches for Wichita Falls Rider.
And why wouldn't they?
Absolutely. That was Braylon Carey, listed as a wide receiver, lining up as a running back.
And it's just getting people touches that wouldn't otherwise get a touch there, you know? And getting a wide receiver a touch at running back, getting a corner a touch at wide receiver, just getting touches where they wouldn't normally get touches. It's just, it adds more excitement.
Yep.
And it's more fun for the players because they're getting to do something that they wouldn't normally do.
Oh, and like I was saying moments ago, as there's another handoff, trying to hit that outside corner and getting nothing there was Carey. Was that these guys come in every game. There's on a lot of high school teams, right? You have your starters and your second stringers, but then there's also the third string guys and the fourth string guys that don't often get a lot of game reps, right? Especially in district play. And so this is a moment for the teams to have a. I'm having a pulling a U here, man. I'm drawing the blank on it, but to grow as a team and build some confidence as a group, but then at the same time enjoy those starters, getting to enjoy seeing the guys that put in the work that don't often get credit get some credit.
And that just goes to team love, as there is a Coronado Mustang down right now.
And you see them holding up the C's. That's their hand sign, right? Every school in our district has a hand sign. And we're going to take this break. So when we come back, we'll hopefully have an update on the Coronado Mustang. But this is a UMC Children's Hospital timeout. We'll be back with more right after this. There is our Coronado Mustang that went down. I believe we have an instant replay courtesy of Xavier Guzman of this play. And of course, that's Bryson Solis there, wearing number 35 for Coronado. So here's a look at the play. Solis diving, trying to make the play. That's tough right there because, you know, he's laying it all out on the line. He's trying to make a play for his team. And sometimes when you do that, he got a little rocked there. And so we wish him all the best. It's third down now. Coming here to this close side, trying to hit the corners. Carey, he hits the corner and he gets the first down as he goes out of bounds.
And you just see the display of elusiveness and the speed that Carey had right there. Just getting to the outside edge and taking advantage of it. That's why you see so many running backs of all levels try to get to the outsides of the field and take that corner.
Right, it's speed versus speed at that point, right? It's mano-y-mano, and Carey won that battle there, showing off the wheels that he's got. It's now 1st and 10 with 1:10 to go. The clock continuing to roll like it has been really all night, because there's been a lot of running of the football as Carey takes that one to about the 27.
But when you take the ball to the corners of the field, it's really just a one-on-one matchup. Who has the better pursuit angle? Is it the running back that's running the ball, or is it the linebacker or the corner or the safety that's charging at the runner? You know, and that's why I think so many running backs, especially running backs, but not even just them, just like wide receivers, really anybody likes taking the outsides of the field, because that really just picks apart the defense on the other side.
Well, this is going to do it right here. Wichita Falls Rider not going to run another play, as the play clock has 3 extra seconds more than the actual game clock, and this is going to do it here. So it's going to be 38-0 will be the final score, as both teams are lining up on the 50-yard line, and the officials are heading to the field house. Carson, for coming into this game, it was a tale of two teams. One team hot, red hot. The other team looking, trying to get their first win of the season. And at the end of tonight, it still feels kind of that same way. Wichita Falls Rider showed everything they got tonight. They showed how many different talented players they have, with 4 different players carrying the football effectively on rushing attack, and of course Castles having 2 touchdowns and was super effective well in the passing game.
I couldn't agree more, and I think if you're Coronado, you're really just trying to find the positives of this game. It clearly didn't go your way. I know I'm stating the obvious like right there, but I think you really just want to take the positives into next week, build on them in practice, and come back, bounce back, and get ready for district play here in a couple weeks.
Of course, the Coronado Mustangs are going to be on the road facing Abilene Cooper next week. That's on the road, 7 p.m. kickoff. And then right after that, they start the gauntlet that is District 2-5A. Carson, great job tonight. Great job to the entire Lubbock ISD TV crew. Without all of our students that showed up to work, we would not have been able to broadcast this game. Everything that you saw tonight was done by a student, and we tip our caps to them. Thank them for working tonight. Of course, we want to thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week, as we'll be back here on YouTube. But until then, we hope you stay happy and healthy. And as always, go Lubbock ISD.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.